Hey, Brian, let's get ready to rock the ball first half.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, how you guys doing? Come on, they told me that University Park had a little bit more energy than that. How you guys doing? That's what I'm talking about. First, I want to foremost give a round of applause for all of our leadership. So could everyone please, all the leadership in the building, we want to thank you so much for the opportunity for here. As you continue to come in, continue to please come in, take a seat. We're going to start in about 1 or 2 minutes. We have some phenomenal information for you. And I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I get excited over events like this because you're talking about the growth and the development of the community, right? Isn't that important? Come on now, isn't that important? Right, it's 2024. We're talking about the growth and development of University Park. So I first want to say thank you guys so much for your hard work, for your dedication, and everything that you have done. A lot of times, people don't receive their flowers. So the first thing I want to say is I give you your flowers while you're here. So thank you so much. I am Brian Fleming, and I have the pleasure and the honor and the privilege of introducing our mayor. Come on now, give us a hand for that. Give us a hand for that. So for those that don't know the story of our Mayor Rudez, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. So just for those that have never met him, or if you've seen him in the store, you're like, you know what, who is that guy, right? Because you want to know who is the guy that represents us, right? Who is the guy that represents our community? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about him, okay? Is everybody okay with that? Say amen? Amen. Amen. Now, the first thing I want to acknowledge is that he is a man of God, amen? He is married for over 35 years. Can we get a round of applause for that? And first I want to acknowledge his amazing, lovely wife, Linda. Yes, we got to acknowledge his lovely wife, Linda. Also, he has 4 children and 7.5 grandchildren, right? That's amazing feat. So everyone know what that half means, right? So insurance rates are going up right now, right? Okay, y'all know what that half means, right? Okay, so also he is a retired veteran. He served our country, so give him a hand for that. He also served as the first mayor to bring over $1 billion in economic development for University Park. Now, you know what? Now, if I was giving away Big Macs, I would have got more applause. Now, I'm going to do that again, okay? So when I say that again, I'm going to need a little bit more enthusiasm, because I didn't say 1 million, I said 1 billion. So he's the first man that's brought $1 billion in economic development. That has transcended over 2,500 jobs for University Park, okay? So some of us are employed because of the economic development. So that's a good thing, right? Also, he has served as the first mayor of the president of the Will County Governmental League. How about that? Come on now. How about that? He also served as the mayor of management of Will County for the majority whip at large. How about that? Come on. The executive director of the Southland Economic in Chicago. He also is one of the featured mayors of Illinois. Come on, I could keep going and going and going. And now also, how many of you know that he's a coach? Every sport. But you know what the most important job he is? He's a man of God. He's a deacon at his church. What does that mean? He's like me and you. He's someone that recognizes opportunities. He recognizes the skill set. He's all about integrity, trust, and hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce you our mayor. Come on, everyone get up for Mr. Mayor Rudez. Come on.
Wow, Brian. Well, thank you for such kind words. Thank you so much. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our annual State of the Village address. I'd like to thank all of you all for coming. Thank you all for coming out. And before we begin, let me introduce our elected officials here today. Unfortunately, our village clerk isn't here. I haven't heard from her, but let's give Madam D. Jones a round of applause. I would like to introduce Trustee Jill Thompson, Trustee Thompson, Trustee Williams, and Trustee Fulcher are in their first term. They just completed their first year of their first 4-year term. We've got Trustee Theophilus Brooks easing into the room. All right. So we've got Trustee Karen Lewis, Trustee Janelle McFadden, and I'd also like to recognize our treasurer, Jim Ellis. So I'd like to start off this morning by thanking God for the opportunity to continue to serve as your mayor for another 4-year term as I start my 17th year as your elected official, with the last 5 serving as your mayor. Also, I'd like to thank our First Lady Linda for her unwavering support, and you, the residents, for your vote of confidence. We have a lot of important topics to cover, and I feel it's so important for residents to have transparency and direct access to your elected officials. Since being elected your mayor, we have held this annual town hall, and I plan to continue. I also want to talk about our community newsletter, because I know that there's been a communication gap. So just to let our residents know, those that are present here and those who are viewing, that the community newsletter is currently being printed, and today I can inform our residents that our latest edition will be in your mailboxes by month's end. We have also set up new deadlines with the spring, summer, and fall, winter turnout to ensure you receive the newsletter in a timelier fashion. So I thank you all for your patience, because communication is very key. That way our residents can be well informed and stay abreast on what's facts and what's fiction out there. So we'll continue to get our communication better with our residents. After my remarks, I'll invite our village managers to say a few words, followed by updates from department heads and key staff, which we should go to about noon, a little bit after. And after our presentations, your elected officials and village staff will stay for a few minutes for a meet and greet if anybody has specific questions for any of our trustees as part of today's events, to answer any questions or concerns. And if you're viewing this live at home, please come out to the Town Center complex between noon and 1 and join us. So let us all start off with a prayer. We got any, no pastors in the house?
You got the pastor.
All right, so I'll take myself, and let's bow our head in prayer, please. Dear Father God, we humbly come before you just saying thank you, Lord. We're asking you for forgiveness of our sins and transgressions, Heavenly Father. We're asking you to remove anything that is unlike you and give us increased understanding, Heavenly Father. We thank you. We all thank you, from the mayor to the Board of Trustees, for the opportunity to serve in a high capacity to provide support and help for your people, Lord. Heavenly Father, we ask that you break all chains of bondage that have been in our community, that we're all able to work together in unified sense, Heavenly Father. We ask that you bless this meeting, that we leave out with energy and enthusiasm, with hope and inspiration as we move our community forward. These things I pray by the blood of Jesus, that we bless each and every household that is represented here, and all future generations to come and inherit this beautiful community of University Park. And these things we do pray. Amen. Amen. So this past year, we have welcomed 3 new board members, which I introduced, and they just completed their first 4-year term. And I can say that the progress for the community is continuously moving forward. And sometimes it's important to understand where we've been, to understand how far we come, but we're not here to talk about anything bad or anything that's in the past. We're only talking about moving forward. It's positive progress for the residents of University Park. So, as we go on, I'm going to start off with one of the things that I'm quite sure some of our residents are very concerned about. There's been an influx of new residents in our community. Some people call them asylum seekers, some people call them migrants. So I want to give you my point of view and the village's stance on what's going on with our asylum seekers that are now a part of our community. So we understand that there may be questions regarding asylum seekers in our village. However, let us be clear that while University Park is not actively encouraging asylum seekers to seek residency here, we recognize that several hundred asylum seekers' families are currently residing within our community. We have taken proactive measures to support these families and address the challenges that have arisen. To facilitate communication when providing basic primary services, we have engaged AI translators, which will not only support those in need, but also foster inclusive and hospitable community for all residents. Additionally, we have collaborated with our local library, churches, Will County Health Department, and Will County to provide resources and assistance to asylum seekers and their families. I want to assure you that your satisfaction, our residents, is our top priority, and we are committed to providing you with the best possible service. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to us or ask your questions during our Q&A session. Also, for those residents who don't know, I would like to talk about our streets and roads. I am a junkie when it comes to making sure that our roads are clean and safe. And it's no secret that our local roads have been a cause of concern for many of us. As a responsible leader, I am committed to addressing these issues. That is why during my previous term, I pledged to take actions on the streets that haven't seen repairs since the 80s. So we've been successful on that. We have a board of trustees that understands and wants to have clean streets and roads in our community as well. So I'm just pleased to announce that some of the roads that we will be addressing this year, one will be Black Hawk, and I don't want to go off and say the wrong roads or anything, but we'll bring our engineers up and our manager, and we'll define some of the roads that we will be addressing this year. But what really is important to me is improving our infrastructure. Whether we realize it or not, our infrastructure is vitally important to our growth and expansion of University Park. And having clean, non-pothole roads, striped streets, adequate lighting is something I advocate for, and you can always depend on me to do our best that we can to provide those things for our residents. So therefore, I urge you to support this initiative and help us make our community a better place to live, because together we can make a positive impact. And I'm confident that we will achieve our goals of having well-maintained roads that we can all be proud of. So that's not being neglected. It's a work in progress, and we will talk about our 5-year road program so the residents will be informed on when their roads are coming, what roads are coming next, and we could all be on the same page. Economic development. So, hello, I'm excited to share some of the latest news updates on our economic development. It's through economic growth that we can provide quality career jobs closer to home, which leads to fewer expenses in traveling, equaling more money in your pockets and increased family time. It's through economic development we create the traffic counts that restaurants, grocery stores, and much other needed retail opportunities for our residents are much in need of and have been lacking for so long. Also creating a new need for housing development with the influx of new industry and jobs, all of a few above mentioned benefits of economic growth that will lead to lower real estate property taxes for our residents. And just going off a script, because the scripts are good, but sometimes I just want to talk to you guys from my heart. It is my goal to ensure that before this term is up, with your support, I would like to start working on some way to rebate real estate taxes back to our residents. I don't know if it's happened before in my 30 years here, but with our economic growth and a new influx of finances, you can depend on that. So I ask you guys to be encouraged, and just stay the course. You know, it's important, and that would be something that all the residents, I think, would be glad to have a rebate check back. And I think all the board members would be glad to ensure that we have a rebate check back on our property taxes. For we all know the property taxes are beating us over the tail, and the highest taxing body is the school district. Whether you have children in the school district, grandchildren, or you have none whatsoever, those are just some of the things that we have to deal with. So we're counteracting with economic development with sales and retail sales tax. So just to mention a few of the new businesses that's come in town since I've been the mayor since 2019. Let's start with, we've got an Amazon, a new Amazon now, which provides 1,000 jobs. And our Amazon site, for the last 30 years that I've lived in University Park, was a vacant farmland. Now it is a viable land where there are tons of employees coming in and out of our community. And slowly but surely, probably after the 5th year, you'll start seeing the tax benefit coming for our residents. We have Century Steel and Wire, which is directly across the street from Amazon. Some people may know them as Ryerson Steel. Steel, but Ryerson Steel was a 130-year Chicago-based steel company, and they chose University Park to come to make their nationwide home here. So that's a good thing, and that will bring an additional 300 jobs. So, you know, I got a nice letter from Mayor Lightfoot that said, thank you, Mayor Rudez, for taking my 100-year-plus company to University Park. Good luck with that, Mr. Mayor. So we're making some effects out there. Who else do we have? We have Amazon. We have a Century Steel and Wire. We have a Carvana that, again, bought a land that was in the village, not owned by the village, but it was farmland that sat dormant there on the corner of Cicero and University Park for over 20-some-odd years. That will filter into lower taxes, economic development, and more jobs and resources. Things don't happen right away, but the process is moving forward, and we can really look forward to those things happening and how Carvana will benefit our community down the line. We also, since I've been here, we bought a TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Ross warehouse right in our industrial park. Let me see. Liz, am I missing something? Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me tell you something. Our latest thing, thank you, which is Samsung. Samsung has closed 3 locations around the country and has decided to make University Park their home. They will be located at 701 Central Avenue in University Park. We can anticipate a ribbon cutting and the groundbreaking and the doors opening summer of '24. We just don't have an exact date. They do not need a lot of construction because all of their work is interior, and they're taking a facility that was once held by Solo Cup. So that place has over close to 100 trucking bays. So every product that Samsung has will be coming out of University Park. That's a big victory for University Park. There will also be 400 jobs associated with that. We've talked about our travel center, our quick trip travel center for those who go to I-57 corridor. When you come off the expressway right on University Park, we're in Central. For those who take that route, you can see that our quick trip travel center is just about to completion. And in my opinion, that is the village's casino. When I say that, that place never closes. It's open 24/7, 365, 7 days a year. So someone will be getting off the expressway, going there, getting gas and fuel. And not just to mention, by the way, we have a Dunkin' Donut in there and a Sabarbro Pizza that will be also inheriting that quick trip travel center. And there'll probably be another 25 to 30 jobs in there. So we're moving on with that. Directly across the street, there's a Clarius project that will be breaking ground maybe right across the street from the Quick Trip Travel Center. There's a project by the name of Clarius that will be probably breaking ground sometime before the end of the year gets started. Next to Clarius, we've been fortunate enough, and I'm not afraid to say it. We probably got Wendy's will be coming out. They've coming out. They've looked at the land. We're in negotiations with Wendy's right off the expressway. All of our board knows that there are no restaurants in our area, and every time that we want to go to a nice sit-down restaurant, we have to leave our community, either go north to Chicago, go west to Orland, or somewhere else. Well, I think that we all know that we're looking to try to get oh, there's our Madam Clerk. Come in. I didn't see you come in, Madam Clerk. Our clerk is here. I'm sorry, D. Okay. All right, so the whole goal is, next to our travel center, we're looking at a Cracker Barrel, a Waffle House, or some other sit-down restaurant, because now we're meeting the numbers and the justification that our developers are looking for. We've created such a cluster of jobs and people. It's just going to be hectic coming down the line. We've got $45 million going into our metro station. We own our metro stations now, the east and the west side of the parking lot. I'm not going to take the manager's thunder. She'll come up and tell you about what's going on in those projects around there, but it's very exciting stuff as we transition out of what we used to do into what we're doing now. And I've got this thing that we always talk about, the T's. There are 2 T's that I'm always talking about. It's transition and transformation. And sometimes change can be a little challenging for some, but it's necessary. We're moving from the Flintstones to the Jetson generation. So hold on. You know, the change may be challenging, it may be fearful for some, but we're moving in a positive direction for the village of University Park. I want to talk to you guys about something that we've all been challenged with, and this is this aqua water scenario. You know, we've been fighting this thing. I took office in May of 2019. It wasn't 20 days before we get a knock on the door talking about our system has been compromised. So I can stand here today proudly to say that according to the IEPA and all the regulatory agencies, that our water is clean and safe to drink. The distribution center is in effect only because of there is a court order that mandates them. And when we talk more about aqua water, I'll bring up our specialist, Mr. Flowers, who is in the audience today, who has worked over 40 communities as far as lead replacement lines, and he'll give you a little update on what's going on with the village, our water, our infrastructure, and our future plans. It's no secret. I don't like aqua, but we have to deal with them for the time being. But it is our goal and what we have started, and I want to thank them right now before I lose my chain of thought. Trustee Lewis, Trustee Williams, Manager Scott, Mr. Flowers, that's like what we call our water team, that our whole goal is to get away from aqua and bring in our own Lake Michigan water. There are a variety of opportunities coming up, so what has happened, we've started the first step. And this is probably a 5 to 7 to 8 year project, but it's a project well worthwhile, and I think you, the residents, deserve to be able to go to your faucet without it prohibited, without a thought in your mind having a concern about lead. So please, we need your support and encouragement on this road as we try to transition our community and bring in fresh water. For those who don't know, who have been following the aqua situation, well, let me tell you, we had a settlement hearing yesterday, and it was very positive for the residents of University Park. And I'll just touch on a few of the bullet points. But before I touch on these bullet points, I would like to invite everyone out. When's the next board meeting?
Tuesday.
No, that's
Tuesday, Cal.
the Tuesday's Cal. When's the next board meeting, the date? When's the 25th of June. For those who are viewing at home and those who are here, we encourage everyone to be here. It is vitally important as we talk about aqua water. The attorneys will be here and everything. We will give you a full scenario on what's going on with aqua. But we can't be successful without your resident support. We have to do a lot of work, but we're winning. So I'm going to read just a few bullet points that I got just hot off the press yesterday, because we came up with a settlement agreement yesterday afternoon, and it looks like we're going to be moving forward. So I'll just touch on a few things that we got from our attorneys. As President Barack Obama once said, without regard to whether some place is wealthy or poor, everybody should have a chance at clean air and clean water. Almost a decade ago, the country saw the tragic events that transpired in Flint, Michigan, where thousands of residents were exposed to dangerous levels of lead in their drinking water, and the city changed the water source of the public water supply during a financial crisis. Similar to the tragic events in Flint, the village of University Park, a predominantly minority community with no control over its drinking water system, fell victim to a devastating lead exposure in its public water system in 2019. After Aqua, the owner and operator of the public water system, changed the water source as a part of a long-term cost-saving measure, since then, there has been a great mistrust in Aqua in the University Park water system from residents and elected officials alike. Clean water is a valuable and necessary element of everyone's life, and the residents of University Park deserve a water system that they can trust for themselves, their children, and their grandchildren. And without clean water to drink, University Park residents have relied on bottled water for almost 5 years without any further relief. In August of 2019, the state of Illinois' Attorney General and Will County State's Attorney filed a lawsuit against Aqua for Aqua's misconduct in causing the lead and drinking water crisis in the village of University Park. After the lawsuit was initiated, Village officials sought the assistance of former legal counsel to explore the village's options in seeking relief from Aqua for their actions in causing the lead in drinking water. While the state and Aqua were litigating the lawsuit toward trial, the village relied on its former legal counsel to provide equitable solutions to residents affected by contaminated drinking water to no avail. As a result, the state and Aqua spent years litigating the case without the village seeking involvement. Shortly after being re-elected in May of 2023, Mayor Rudez and the Board of Trustees appointed its current legal counsel to help the village in a new direction with respect to ongoing lead in drinking water. At that point, the state and Aqua were roughly 4 years into litigation, the lawsuit toward trial without any sort of settlement in sight. In October of 23, the village officials were made aware of a proposed settlement agreement between the state and Aqua that brought some relief to the residents of University Park, but it did not go far enough to protect all the residents of University Park. While the state spent more than 4 years diligently working to find the best solution, there was more that could be done and should be done to provide the drinking water to the village. With the assistance of the mayor, the board, current council, the village petitioned the Circuit Court of Will County for intervention into the ongoing lawsuit between the state and Aqua to enhance the proposed settlement agreement and bring additional relief to the University Park residents. In April of 24, Judge John Anderson, let's give Judge John Anderson a round of applause. He much deserves that. Judge Anderson in the Circuit Court granted the village's intervention into the lawsuit for the purpose of seeking equitable relief from Aqua as it relates to lead in drinking water crisis, thus giving the village a seat at the table with respect to any future settlement agreements. This is the good news now, guys. On June 7, 2024, the state, Aqua, the village of University Park came to a settlement agreement that provides adequate, equitable relief to the residents of University Park and is crafted toward rebuilding the community's trust in the water system. The terms of the settlement agreement are as follows. Aqua will establish, fund, and implement a technical assistance program benefiting residents, customers within the lead advisory area in University Park, which roughly includes about 1,600 homes affected by lead and drinking water crisis. Within 30 days of entry of this settlement agreement, Aqua will fund a total of $900,000 for the benefit of residential customers in order to pay the cost of remediation of lead solder and/or lead-containing fixtures at the kitchen faucet. The state and the Aqua's previous settlement agreement only required Aqua to fund a total of $500,000 to notify residents of the technical assistance program. Aqua will be sending informational notices to residential customers in the mail and attach their water bills explaining how affected residents can sign up for and receive the benefits of the program. In addition, Aqua will be launching an ad campaign informing the residents of the technical assistance program, which includes a billboard in the village of University Park, 2 robocalls, and let me stop there. And the state and Aqua's previous settlement agreement only required that Aqua send notices through mailers and attach to residential customers' water bills. Upon 30 days after entry of the settlement agreement, residents will have 240 days to sign up for the technical assistance program and the activities therein. That's why I was saying, residents, we need your full support in order to reach those numbers. So remember, 240 days after this settlement agreement, residents will have 240 days to sign up for the technical assistance programs and the activities therein, which include tap water testing at the kitchen faucet, and cost-free remediation of lead solder and/or lead-containing fixtures inside the home. If the water tests above the EPA's threshold for lead, if residents qualify for cost-free remediation inside their homes, Aqua will connect the eligible homeowner with an Illinois licensed third-party plumber and pay such plumber up to the sum of $3,500 per eligible residence. The state and Aqua's previous settlement agreement included a cap of $2,000 per eligible resident, meaning residents would have to go out of pocket for any cost over that threshold. Preferably, we don't have to do that anymore as residents. A cost cap of $3,500 covers the actual estimated cost of remediation. Residents must sign up for the technical assistance program within the 240-day period in order to receive the benefits. Therein, Aqua will then be obligated to fund the remediation costs for each eligible resident up to 1 year following entry of the settlement agreement. That said, Aqua is required to complete all remediation work still in progress at the 1-year termination date. In addition to covering remediation costs for eligible residents, Aqua will also pay a $200,000 civil penalty to the state of Illinois for its actions related to lead in the drinking water crisis in University Park. However, this $200,000 may be used for replacement of solder and lead pipes if there are insufficient funds left from the main settlement. The village will hold a public hearing in July to outline the village residents can partake in the technical assistance program. And, you know, that's about all I'm going to say right now regarding that, but I also like to just discuss something with the residents. You know, there's been a lack of, in my opinion, there's been a lack of reinvestment into our community. We're meeting in this hall as a village hall. We don't have the necessary things for our residents, for our senior citizens, our young people, and our next generation. So I'm asking you guys for support to build a new multi-purpose facility in a state-of-the-art village hall right here on University Parkway in the corner of Burnham Drive on the land that's already owned by the village where infrastructure is readily available. So that's something that we would really like to get done, because everybody in our community, they go to some LA Fitness, they go to, our seniors are going to other communities, Richton Park, Country Club Hill, to do their silver slippers. And it's time that we reinvest in our community and do something right for our residents, because in our tax bill, we're paying for a recreational service that we don't have. Also, I understand that there's a citizens group out there that's actively doing petitions for a park district. Ladies and gentlemen, the last time that referendum went to vote, there was so much negative information out there. First of all, Joe Rudez, as your mayor, not going to raise my taxes $800 a year. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that to you guys. But to invest an additional $5 to $8 a month to build a multi-purpose facility that will fill the needs and the voids of our senior citizens, our young people, and our next generation, I think it's a good investment. So I'm going to ask all of you guys for your continued support on that. It's important that we start reinvesting and putting money back into our community. And when we talk about our amenities, and I'll just put it out here, the village has no business running grocery stores, owning town centers, and trying to go out and procure tenants. That's not a function of government. We have no business owning and operating a golf course, but those were decisions that were made before I took to be mayor, and those are things that we have to adapt and adjust. Those things belong under a park district or the private sector. The focus of local government is to ensure that our residents have clean, safe streets, adequate lighting, activities, public safety, emergency response services, good code enforcement, so we can all be on the same page and have a clean and aesthetic community in University Park. So it's time to reinvest in our community, something that hasn't been done. I've been here 30 years, and I haven't seen an investment in this community ever before. And it's time that we do, and it's time that the government does what government should do. We're not grocery store managers. We're not town hall, we're not landlords, we're not developers to run town centers. We don't run these other things. We provide crucial services for the constituents of University Park to ensure that they have a better quality of life in our community. So with that being said, I'd like to call up our village manager, Ms. Scott, and thank you so much for your time.
We will be taking questions at the end. Greetings and good morning, everyone. If you haven't already, please get some donuts, some refreshments. We also have water here. And I have to tell you all, if you haven't already, when you signed in at the front, there are some ICC complaint forms as it relates to the rate increase. I'm asking that every resident, because there's no excuse for every resident in this community to not have filled that out. You also have the option here, we have an iPad with the ICC complaint form that's ready to be loaded and actually sent to ICC. So you have two ways of filling that out. So everyone in here, before you leave, I would appreciate if you would fill out that form to support your community. Thank you all to those of you who are able to come out this morning. For those that decided to come out, that it was important to be engaged with your community, your local elected officials, as well as receive important updates and information on site and infrastructure improvements, and provide feedback with your answers. Many of you know me. I've been here since July of 2022, and it will be 2 years next month. During this time, it has been an honor to serve the residents of this community. I would like to mention, because a lot of times we do hear a lot of the negativity and it drowns out the positivity that's going on. So I have compiled a list of things that we've accomplished over the course of this past year. We have made a great deal of accomplishments and strides. Completion of a campaign to cut down trees that started in the fall of 2022 and completed in 2023 of cutting down over 125 dead, diseased trees. The initial reconstruction and resurfacing of Abbott and Amherst, and we're not done. Complete reconstruction and restoration of Fire Station 2, which was in complete disrepair when I arrived, and to the extent that the firemen were sleeping in trailers. Finished the demolition of the old White House on Stunkel that was an eyesore for years. Worked with the state to update MFT, which is motor fuel tax documents, to come into compliance and release frozen funds back to the village. We are currently working to get audits updated. We also paid for the IDOT levy from 2018 that had a balance of over $800,000 as of 2022. Created and implemented the water relief program, the snow removal program for seniors, handicapped, and veterans, with over 1,500 residents that benefited collectively. We are currently hiring youth for the summer, and we have a community cleanup that we did last year and we're going to be doing again this coming month. Began working with Enterprise Fleet, working with department heads to cycle out old vehicles and updating our municipal fleet. We have many vehicles that were over 15 years old, so it was really important. It actually wastes a lot of money when you use old vehicles because you constantly spend money putting back into those vehicles and not cycling them out. We have 4 new vehicles in our police department, 2 new vehicles in the fire department, and 2 new vehicles in our public works department. Similarly, we have a new street sweeper. The previous street sweeper was over 15 years old. Internally, we cleaned up the reception area of Village Hall, making it more attractive, improving customer service to the residents, hiring qualified individuals with proper certifications who are service-oriented, evaluating policies, procedures, and updating forms, including our employee policy manual, as well as payroll procedures. Improving the village webpage, which now has printable, downloadable forms for ease and efficacy. And we are now open every Saturday the month of June, and we will every year that I'm here moving forward. When I'm not here, I hope you continue this because I think it's important. You have a lot of residents like myself and other department heads and employees that work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, that they don't have the time and they have to take off from work to purchase a vehicle sticker. So please, for this month of June, we will be open June 8th, June 15th, and June 29th. Village Hall is currently open right now, so when you leave here, you can actually go purchase your vehicle sticker. We will be enforcing that, so please come out and purchase your vehicle sticker during this month and take advantage of the Saturdays that the staff will be there to assist the community. The Veterans Committee is now up and active, and they held a beautiful memorial event, which was well received by the community last month, to honor fallen soldiers. And we are currently remodeling the Veterans Memorial Memorial Garden. So I'd like to take this moment to thank Tim on the Veterans Committee, as well as Trustee Jewel Thompson for their efforts. We have replaced damaged portions of the sidewalk here at the town center, updated the town center signage. If you look on this large sign, there were a lot of old businesses that had not been here for years. It's now updated. We have increased the tenant occupancy, and we're looking to bring more businesses to the town center. We have implemented standing meetings for the Finance Committee, which is now every third Thursday of the month, and the Police and Fire Commission are having regular meetings. Pine Lake has a new ADA-compliant dock. It was not ADA-compliant previously, and we are currently applying for grant funding to complete renovation of the additional dock, gazebos, and bathrooms. Regal Farm is in the design and reconstruction phase and is set to be completed by the end of the year. This is a big deal for this community. It's something that the community has wanted for a very long time, and we also have plans to relocate the community garden back to Regal Farm, and we're taking it back from back here from the town center. So it's going back to where it originally was. I think that's important. It's important to listen to the residents when they have suggestions, comments, and issues, and from this list, you can see that we are actively listening. We are aggressively working on a plan to fix streets and improve roadways, which Antero will discuss in further detail. And we also have Robinson Engineering, Jonathan Flowers, who's simply brilliant. He's been working on our water infrastructure pipe remediation for the homes affected by the water crisis in the lead advisory zone. And we're also actively looking for grants to complete the homes that need further assistance. I would also like at this time to address the golf course. The golf course has had a lot of issues and challenges. However, we recently did obtain the golf course equipment, and if you drive by the golf course today, the lawn is currently being cut, I am happy to say. Thank you for your patience with this. It has been a long, arduous transition. We will be applying for a grant to completely remodel the clubhouse, like we did Fire Station 2, and what we're doing with Regal Farm. The mayor did touch on the situation with the migrants. I wanted to say that we are providing support with them through wraparound services such as legal aid, counseling, ESL classes. We applied for a grant, received almost $400,000, and we're currently working to have a pantry for the community that will be available to all. At this time, I would like to introduce my staff that work with me and collectively serve each and every one of you. I cannot do this by myself, so at this time, if my staff could stand up, Police Chief Dale Mitchell, and I would love for you all to give them a round of applause. Acting Fire Chief Sean Richards. Public Works Director Chris Vargas. We have a new Director of Finance, Ms. Mary Baker. Director of Communications, Ms. Nineva Jenkins. And I have to say this, Leslie Berry, who is our Human Resources Consultant, but has been invaluable to me to provide support that has proper SHRM certification so that we can continue to move the office forward, assisting me with creating a policy manual and procedures to make the office run more smoothly, which in turn provides effective services for each and every one of you. Chris Mirabali from John Kasparik's accounting firm. Jonathan Flowers, I mentioned, from Robinson Engineering, and couldn't do it without Antero. So thank you so much to Mike Sneed, Randall Stevens, for your yeoman's work. We also have other staff here. Could the fire department please stand? Code enforcement, any other employees that we have within the village, please stand. Please give them a round of applause. We currently have staff working overtime at the golf course to get that back looking the way it should be and in proper shape. I did want to touch on the economic development. It's unprecedented. I can barely keep up. We have Samsung, CarMax, Bimbo, which is working on a solar rooftop, Sweet Life expansion, and I could go on and on. We were also at an economic development meeting. I was there with Trustee Donna Fulcher, Trustee Janelle, Trustee Karen, the Mayor, Trustee Gina, and we are bringing back some businesses to this community. We have several meetings. We did speak with Wendy's, an auto zone, and a couple other businesses, so we're going to work to continue on that. Another thing I wanted to touch on that's really important and vital is the EV infrastructure. There's a lot of things that go on in Black and brown communities, and a lot of times we experience environmental racism without even knowing it. If you look north, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of charging stations. As you go south, particularly in the Southland, there's few. I think that's by design with everything else, and we are aggressively going after grants so that we will then have a hat in the ring. A lot of municipalities are not properly equipped. I'm happy to say that we completed a program. We're one of the few municipalities in this entire nation that is now EV ready. And that relates to infrastructure, training for the firemen to deal with EV fires, and also applying for grants. Later on, Antero will go into further detail, but we did apply for grants for parking lot, EV station, charging stations for the east and west metro lots, also for our municipally owned golf course, and we're looking to apply more charging stations throughout the industrial. That grant was a little under $1 million. There's over $1 trillion in EV infrastructure money, grant money available, and a lot of that money is going to be drying up. And the reality is that a lot of our communities cannot afford to spend millions of dollars on charging stations. It's important for the environment. It's important to educate the community. We also have a line service program that we're putting together, which will provide a sense of relief for residents, especially those that are on a fixed income. That service line program has nothing to do with Aqua. It's completely independent. You can sign up if you want to. You don't have to sign up. Nothing is mandated, but it's a very beneficial program. There's an unlimited amount of times that you can apply. It's very inexpensive, and it would cover anything, any incidentals related to your water pipes in your home, which would be from the B-box inside. So if you have tree roots, broken pipes, they'll come out, they'll fix it. I think it's around $595 just for the lead service replacement. You only have to wait, I believe it's a month. There's no contract. You can cancel at any time. So for people who are on fixed incomes, seniors, just really anybody, it's really beneficial. They're in over, I believe, 80 municipalities in Illinois alone. So these are some of the things that we have for the community. Also, I have to tell you at the front, there's a lot of different flyers. We're having car shows. We have a youth hiring event going on. Please participate. I'm not going to steal the department head's thunder and let them announce their own events that are going on. But like I said, please, we also have applications. We have several job openings. So at this time, I would like to bring up each department head, with the exception of Mary, because you just started this week. But I'd like to have the different departments speak about their respective departments. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dale Mitchell. Yeah, you know, My name is Dale Mitchell. I'm your Chief of Police here at the University Park Police Department. Glad to be here. I'm glad you're all out. And remember, everyone, there's refreshments over there for anyone that wants them, some donuts, coffee, water, that type of thing. So, as you know, I've been here approximately 15 months. I'm glad to be here. This is a wonderful community. I live not too far up the road, and I've spent a lot of time driving through the community. And as I've stated before, I wanted to be here, and I want to be here. And so the University Park Police Department, we've entered into a phase where we are rebuilding and we are revamping and we're revitalizing the police department. As you can see, we have two of our very wonderful sworn police officers here, Sergeant Glowinky and Officer Sockwell, and they provide a wonderful service and dedicated service to the village of University Park. And I want you guys to remember, you know, our police officers who are dedicated, who've stayed here over the years, even when they had opportunities to go other places, they said, nope, we want to stay here in University Park. Many of them got their starts here, and they want to be here, and they're part of the community. A lot of them have been here longer than some of the residents. And so when you're at night, when you're at home, I want you to think about those police officers that are out patrolling the streets at night, you know, in the wintertime, in the fall, in the summer heat. And if you get a chance, just tell them thank you, you know, because they are working very hard. And so I did that to them because they're looking at me, so I want to make sure that they heard me say that. But to get started, so the police department is actively recruiting. If you know of any police officers in any other communities that want to change, that want to come to a town that's moving forward, and a town that has a very high upside and a lot of potential, as you can see, we're getting some things done, send them our way. We're looking to hire. So the police department has applied for several grants, and we've received several grants to upgrade technology, including new radios, new computers, new internet routing services to our squad cars. As the village manager said earlier, we have 4 new squad cars. We're rotating our fleet out. You know, our fleet was getting a little long in the tooth. Police cars generally last about 3 years because they run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so that 100,000 miles that you might put on your car in maybe 5 or 6 years, we do that in 2 and 3 years. And so as you can know, as a car gets up there in mileage, you know, your repair bill goes up. We were spending thousands of dollars on cars that were only worth hundreds of dollars. So I'd like to thank the village manager and the mayor and the village board for giving us the opportunity to make sure that we're upgrading our fleet. Thank you. We've upgraded and purchased new ballistic vests for the police departments. We've updated policy and procedures that should provide some relief and liability relief for the police department and the village. As you may have known, there's been a reduction in some serious crimes in town because of our policies and procedures and the dedication of our men and women in the police department. We had 0 homicides in 2023, and that's down from 5 in 2022. We're going to need your help to make sure we keep that going, right? You know, we don't want to jinx ourselves. And to that, I want to say, hey, you see something going on, don't wait till it happens. Give us a call. If you think something's about to happen, if you hear something, if, you know, you hear the kids talking about something, give us a call. That doesn't mean we're going to run up and just start handcuffing people. We're just going to run up and we're going to investigate. Sometimes our mere presence will deter something. We've reestablished relationships with neighboring police departments in the state and the county. We have the new squad cars. We've increased our training. You know, some of our officers hadn't been to training in quite some time, and we're making sure they're getting that training that they need. We've increased parking enforcement, and the village manager did bring up about the village stickers. All right, make sure you buy those village stickers because we will be going on a village sticker enforcement program to make sure you have them. And it's okay to tell us if you see people in town that don't have village stickers, let us know. We will come out and address it. We're working on a beautification of the police department. As you know, for a while, we had weeds that had grown in the trees in front of the police department. Police department looks clean in and around it. The grass looks good. We want to have pride in our police station. We hope you don't have a reason to have to come there that's bad beyond maybe grabbing some information. But if you have to come to us for a matter, we want you to feel comfortable coming there, and having a clean, well-kept police department helps you feel a little bit better about your experience. We've implemented a new maintenance schedule for the police station. Thank you, Director Vargas. He came right in, jumped right in, and has been a great partner in helping us fix the police station. Also, want to let everybody know we have monthly chats with the chief. Okay, so always check your social media with Facebook or the village website. We have monthly chats with the chief. Chat with the chief is an opportunity for you to come talk to me. I'm just sitting there, no filter. There's no big meeting, and you can ask me whatever question you have. I'll have an answer for you. Hopefully, it's the right answer, but I have an answer for you. But you get to come out. There's nothing standing between you and me. Many of our residents here that have been to those chats with the chiefs, and it's very intimate, and I think it provides a lot of information, and you get to hear directly from the chief. Also, I want to put out there, we're going into fireworks season. No fireworks in University Park. $750 fine. We've put our signs out. We want everybody to see that. Upcoming, our biggest event for the year for the police department will be National Night Out, August 6th. It will be here in the town center. Please come on out. I think last year was a very good turnout. We know we had a couple of hundred people come out, and we had services, we had other agencies, and I think it was a really good time. Also, I want to talk about the fact that we've re-implemented the Vacation Watch program. Make sure if you go on vacation and you're kind of, concerned about your house being left alone, come up to the police station. You can fill out a form, and we'll come and check on your house. All right? Make sure you come out and do that. Take advantage of that program. We want you to feel safe and secure while you're out on vacation. And we will be purchasing and deploying new traffic calming devices, to slow some of these drivers down. So I think that in the past year or so, since our last town hall meeting, that we've seen some positive reactions and some positive things happening in terms of law enforcement. I think that the call volume has gone down. I've heard from residents saying that, hey, there's feeling a sense of safety. We still got a ways to go, and we can always do better. Let us know. Talk to us. Call us. We got nothing else better to do than to talk to you. So you have any concerns or complaints, give us a call. I'm always around. You can always catch up with me. And I will be here after the town hall meeting. If you have any concerns or complaints that you don't feel comfortable going through a third party to talk to, then come and talk to me. That ends my report. Thank you.
Hello, residents and trustees, mayor, thank you. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Acting Fire Chief Sean Richards. I participated and have had 20 years career service, or 20 years serving this community as a firefighter. In the past 6, I've been honored to be the Deputy Fire Chief. As of February 2nd, I was put in a position as Acting Fire Chief due to the passing of Fire Chief Brian Chelios. The passing of Brian has been a shock to our department, but it also has given us an opportunity to reflect back on what he as a leader gave us, shown us, and taught us for the future. Brian's leadership and examples of how he did things is going to reflect on how I'm going to, I would say, act in the next couple months until we go through this transition of leadership in our fire department. With that being said, currently our fire department is actively recruiting firefighters. We are short approximately 7 firefighters. We do have 2 that are currently being processed and 2 that are almost through the entire process for hire. One of the biggest accomplishments that I wanted to go over that is most current with the fire department is a year ago, I came to the Board of Trustees and the mayor, and I requested them to allow me to participate in the GEMT program. This is a reimbursement program through the federal government for Medicare and Medicaid transports. One of the requirements is we had to do an internal audit in the fire department that'll give us an exact cost every time that ambulance goes out that door. So after going through a year's of work with the village manager, John Kasparik's office, going through internal audits through our own stuff and my own team to try to put this all together, a year later we finally and successfully have completed the program and got our first check of reimbursements. Our reimbursement has now gone up 10 times the collection ratio that it was a year ago. So the bottom line, we asked for permission, we gave a commitment, and a year later it's now come to fruition. So now the exciting part of all this is not the fact that we just got more money to spend, but according to village ordinance, 50% of that revenue has to be reinvested in providing a better service to the community, period. That money has to be spent back to the residents. With that being said, we've already started conversations about what we would like to do as far as equipment purchases, as far as manpower purchases. One of our biggest purchases that I'm looking and going to start with is 2 new ambulances. We want to get and provide my guys the best equipment to do what they need to provide the service to the citizens. The residents are all we care about and all that matters when we do our job. Moving forward in the rest of the department while we're going through this transitional period is we are, much like the police department, we're putting in new technology such as CADs in the vehicles, computers in the vehicles that are going to allow us to dispatch quicker and faster, radio communications which is more effective and more safe, and ultimately just rebuilding our fleet and our force to actually provide to the community. Starting in August, we're going to start preparing for Fire Prevention Week. This is the first time in the history of the department we're going to really prepare and participate in Fire Prevention Week. Fire Prevention Week is in Fire Prevention Month is October, but we spend 1 week where we really engage with the community with programs and just get out and introduce ourselves. Some of the goals for 2024 that I would like to have, bar the transition period in our management, is I want to get our department into the community more. I think prior leadership has done a great job, but I think we can take it to a higher level. Not only with the children, but the senior citizens. Help them understand programs that are available to them. Help them understand what we can offer as a fire department to the citizens. I think it just goes to the assumption that, hey, we can call 911, the police are going to come, or we're going to call 911 in the fire department. There's much more to that than just us responding when you need our help. One of the things I did mention, and I did promise, is that we wanted to do CPR for the residents of University Park for no cost. And that's something that the village manager and I have been working on, and as one of my promises, as long as I am still here or in an acting position, I want to bring CPR to the residents of University Park for free. So with all that being said, I'll keep it short and turn it on to the next department head, but in the meantime, my guys are here for you as a community. Please stop in, say hi. Doors are open, guys are on the bay floor all day long. There's no reason you guys can't stop by, even if it's a blood pressure check, even if it's just to say hi, or even ask a question why they do things. That's why we are here, is for the community. Same with me. Email, walk in, knock on my door, I'm always there. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to Chris.
Hello, everyone. First off, I would like to say thank you for everybody that came out today. I know it's our weekends, and our weekends are precious to ourselves, you know, but most importantly, thank you before I start. I'm going to quickly introduce myself. Some of you may or may not know me. My name is Christopher Vargas. I started with this department in the beginning of May. Since then, I have made multiple changes. And I am instructing and doing the best that I can to basically make new regulations. I'm trying to develop as much structure as I can and continue to do so, which I believe is needed to make a strong department that this village needs and is looking for. We have also accomplished multiple things in this short time that I have been here. Just before my arrival, they finished the completion of our new salt shed to store all of our new snow salt for the wintertime. We developed routes and designated days for chipping as well as hot patching. We have enhanced multiple properties and continue to do so. To list some, for example, Pine Lake, Hickok Pool, which consisted of grass cutting, weed whacking, garbage removal, and tree trimming. We have removed all flag dump piles on Mackey Road and plan to target this at least once a month, as well as some of our other streets where the most common flag dumping does take place. Public Works has also purchased a new streeper that was basically, we had a street sweeper. It was getting close to being almost not being able to complete the job. So I'm glad that we basically got a new one. It is out daily. We try our best to make sure that we get the entire village, guys. I know it's pretty big, trying to cover everything, but please, we are on top of that. We are currently helping out in the golf course as we speak. You guys can drive past, like a village manager mentioned. They are currently out there cutting the grass. We're trying to take very, basically complete all the needs that's needed there. We have hung multiple flags and banners in the town for different holidays and events. Just recently, our beautiful Juneteenth flags, as you guys can see, down University Parkway. We also make it a priority to make sure that we are mowing throughout the town weekly and daily. Of course, that's one of the most biggest things that we can take care of, is just making sure that we're keeping up with that, making sure our village is nice and beautified, at least on that aspect. We are also currently in the process of making a list of all of our dead trees, so that way we can make sure that we schedule removal for that. We are waiting on arrival of our new streetlight poles. Once that does arrive, we will be taking action on that as well. I've worked with Chief from the police department on putting out our fireworks signs, putting out our speed bumps. We got majority of our speed bumps out, but we will be scheduling to make more repairs on some of the street pumps that were put out, and as well as putting more out. One more thing, guys. I understand that there's a lot of needs that also involves my department as far as things that residents have complaints about and stuff. Please, guys, I just got brought into this department. I am trying my best. I understand that you guys may have been told in the past to be patient. I cannot change what the past is. They brought me in for the future, and that's all I can do, is promise you guys that everything will get taken care of. They brought me in knowing that I can shape and run this department the way that it needs to be, and I will guarantee you that I will get to all the needs that you guys want, and you guys will be proud of your village. Thank you guys for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Once again, thank you everybody for coming out. Also, I want to say thank you to all the trustees, our village manager, all the department heads and everything. Thank you, and you guys have a nice and wonderful weekend.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nyeva Jenkins. I handle our village communication and community engagement. Thank you, Mayor, Board, and Trustees for allowing me to speak this morning. I just wanted to take the time to update you on the village communications for the Village of University Park. We continue to communicate through our email blast, which is powered by MailChimp. If you are not a part of our subscription for our email blast, you can find the QR code, or you can stop over and I can add you to our MailChimp database to receive up-to-date information, such as this town hall meeting that we're having today. Our village website is another means of communication. Our village website is www.university park-il.com. We also engage with the community through our Facebook, the Village of University Park, as well as the University Park Police Department. So if you are, they are growing their subscription. So if you are friends with the Village of University Park, please take the time to go over to the University Park Police Department, because they are also have news and announcements that are critical to the community. We obviously do it through flyers, and our most popular means of communication right now is our WUPC-TV YouTube page that is seeming to pick up a little bit more traffic than usual. And also, we can look forward to future newsletters, biannually, quarterly, what the board disseminates is how they would like that done. Our very hefty newsletter is at the printer, and as Mayor mentioned, it should be out by the end of the month. You can log on to our website for up-to-date news and information, payments, citizen concerns, links to the community related to information that you can use. We are working to reboot our WUPC-TV station to support our local programming, such as school programs, news magazines, and village-wide events. Some of the recent advances that we have made in this department is this outstanding audio system that has provided better audio communication through our YouTube channel and here in our town center, as well as we have switched to a streaming software that provides a little bit more clarity than the Zoom software provided. The last thing, one of the last things is that moving forward, if you are not receiving information, please stop by and I can take your information. I'm very approachable to get things done so that you can receive the news that you can use. Communication is ever evolving. I know we can all agree with that. One day we're on a VHS player, next minute we're on a CD player, next minute we're on TikTok. And so since it's ever evolving, change is happening rapidly. So the goal is to keep up with the technology and give you the messages that you need. If you have any questions or concerns, I can be reached by email or by cell phone. Again, very approachable so that you can receive the information that you need. Thank you and have a good day. We'll take a question.
With no papers. First of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to address you all. Second, I want to say I've been to 4 village or city town hall meetings this month. This is the first time that I've ever heard any of them, and I'm talking as far north as Des Plaines to as far south as where we are, where they talked about so much economic development and what they were bringing to the community. Was it $1 million or $1 billion, something like that? I've not heard that in all the meetings that I've attended, and I really mean that that is something that we are blessed to have out here, and it's very much appreciated. So let's first address a couple of HR issues. One, staffing. We are on the hiring. We are definitely hiring, but I want to encourage everybody. When we are hiring, we are looking for people that are qualified to do the job. We're not looking for someone whose brothers, sisters, mothers, uncle knows somebody that lives in the community. We want somebody that's qualified to do the job, and we can back up those qualifications, okay? The second thing that I want to mention on the staffing and the recruiting side, we've had people exit lately. The people have retired. We have made sure that they're able to be taken care of with their retirement. We're very proud of Paycom. I wasn't a big fan of Paycom, the system that we use, but the more and more that we do get used to it, the better it is. Thanks, Chris. But again, we do that. The other thing, the village manager has warned me not to call her before 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm an early person. These guys over here have taken my calls 24/7. As a consultant, I don't have the opportunity to be here Monday through Friday. I'm here when I'm here the 2 days, and then these guys all help. One of the biggest challenges that we have is taking the employee handbook that has been since 1983 and bringing that to current. Initially, it was going to be easy, just wipe out the whole and start all over again. It's not that easy when you still have people that are employed here that are still under the old contract. We have a team that's set up that we were meeting with, and they were pretty difficult at first. I mean, you know, Neva wants this, and DC wants this, and they want the dress code and everything. So we have a great team that we're working on so that we can present that back to the board. The other thing that we're really talking about is getting some training, getting some team building training. You have a great team of people working here, but now we need to all work together. I wasn't ever a big fan of Michael Jordan, but I will say he knew how to lead a team, and that's what we want here, to be on that team and to be able to do those things. With regards to the union, you have 3 labor organizations. We've made great strides with the labor organizations. We started again doing the labor management meetings. We started with AFSCME. We made some real good progress with that, which was really good. The police chief and I just had a conversation with the Teamsters because they want to know, and Chief told me don't even worry about it, but they want to know what are we going to do when the Democratic Convention comes here if they have to come out this far for help. Chief says, don't worry, we got this. We met with the Teamsters. We had a Zoom or whatever the call with them just to make sure and see what their role would be. As far as the fire department goes, we've been putting out fires that were people issues that helped us do a lot of the things that we need to do to help grow and continue to grow. So HR is moving. I am looking for one of the positions posted isn't of a part-time HR consultant. My contract ends whenever it ends in November, but we need to get somebody in here that has an HR background. Liz is big on all certifications, which all these guys have, so we will be able to get that person in here that could just pick up the pieces and continue to go with it. But from an HR perspective, employee relations is number one. You got happy employees, you got happy residents. You got happy employees that get their paychecks on time, you got happy residents. You got happy employees that know what they're doing, that can go out and take care of things, you got happy residents. You got happy employees that can get phone calls and talk to their department heads, yes you do, you got happy residents, and that's what we want to do, so thank you for that opportunity. And I'm not sneaking out early. I have a funeral to get back to.
Good morning, all. So I'm here to talk about the finances. So the village has improved financially compared to last year. Last year, we ended the fiscal year for the general fund with a surplus of $483,000. This year, we've also ended the year with a surplus of $255,000. So over the last 2 years, we have improved by about $650,000. That's the big one, because everyone likes to hear that we're doing better financially than we did in the year before. So in a quick summary of what created those items, we had our revenues go up by about $400,000 compared to last year, with a $500,000 decrease in our expenses compared to last year. Now, one of the big things that will be changing with the end of this calendar year is your guys' TIF 5 will be closing. When that closes, all of that value of those properties are going to become taxable by all of the taxing bodies within this area. So one of the things we will need to do is absorb all that money so that we can invest in the new infrastructure and new opportunities and new staffing. So those are all things that will need to be considered when we close this TIF, because this TIF will end this year. So all of that money has to be absorbed so that way we can use it to invest into the various items to improve the village for new infrastructures, new building, new roads. Those are all things that we will need to be working on this year, which we will be providing a report, PowerPoint presentation before we close it when this happens to show how that will impact all the residents, the businesses, and what those funds can be used to be invested in. Okay. that takes care of that. Now, as they talked about for the MFT fund, that once we get all of that paperwork closed out and signed off and approval by the state, we will be able to use those funds to have the pay for all the new roads, because those are funds that are specifically designed for road construction. So once those get approved by IDOT and signed off, then we can use those funds to pay for all of the different street construction. So that will eliminate, instead of having to use your tax dollars, we can use MFT money that we get from the state to fund those various items. That's the summary of everything from a finance. Oh, and the last item, payroll. With the usage of the Paycom system, that will decrease our involvement because it will put more control in the employees' hands, and the department heads will ultimately know more about what their employees should be getting paid for their hours and items versus us and the finance, because we know what they should be contract, but we don't know if an employee A worked 5 hours or if they worked 15 hours. So by giving department heads and employees greater control, it will eliminate our side of it and increase and make happier employees, which in turn will reduce our time, which in turn will reduce overall what you guys pay. Okay.
Right. Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Flowers. I work for an engineering company called Robinson Engineering. We've been brought in to help with the water issue. So thank you to the board and mayor and all the staff for allowing me to come and talk. And again, I think there's going to be some questions at the end. I'll run through what we're doing. I'm sure everybody has a lot of questions. So the mayor mentioned a recent lawsuit that the state had against Aqua. That was settled yesterday. The village, we had some pretty strong efforts to try to intervene in that lawsuit, and we were allowed to intervene. With that intervention, we doubled the amount of money that was available for remedy. So that was a good thing. Moving forward now, the mayor also mentioned it helps to have resident involvement. So they're going to ask for participation from the residents to do sampling inside the homes. You will need to volunteer to be part of that program. You'll have to sign kind of an access agreement, and then the sampling will indicate whether or not you'll get your solder removed from your system. So there's actually 2 tiers. The first tier is they'll come in and evaluate your pipes and see what they can do to fix something. If you test high again, they will come in and replace your pipes. So that's the first thing. And that case was settled, but it's not the last step in resolving the water issues. We've also started a grant application that was encouraged by the federal government for an additional almost $10 million to help out. And then there's also a county grant that's available for $500,000, and both of them are going to be put towards resolving issues. And right now, I think what you could say is the bleeding has been stopped. Aqua has put forth some effort to improve the conditions in the system. They've tested in compliance for a series of months, going on years now. But that doesn't mean that the residents are happy. And so we want to make sure that the funds are available to do what you guys want to do. And if you want to replace your pipes, we're trying to get those funds in place. So that's what those 2 applications are for. And also, there is we're currently contesting Aqua's raising of rates. So the Illinois Commerce Commission has to approve water rate increases. And right now we have some testimony, and there's a case before the Commerce Commission to not allow them to raise rates. We think that they've done enough here, and we would like the rates to stay stable for a while until the residents and the community are content with the quality of water that's being produced. The last thing that's a little bit unrelated, there's a class action lawsuit right now to recover damages from what happened with the lead release. And that is a little bit separate issue. That's not through the village, but I think you can approach us after if you have not heard of that. So that's all I have for now, and we'll be taking questions after. Thank you.
I'll take this show on the road over here really quick. We brought some pictures to look at. you want to stand on the other side? Yeah, I can do. All right. Firstly, thank you to the mayor, the board, village manager, and all the department heads that we've been able to work with over the last couple years. It's been an honor. I'm Randall Stevens with the village's planning and engineering firm. I work on the urban planning side of things, and then I'll turn it over to
Sure. And I am Mike Sneed, a project manager and engineer with Antero Group. And again, we are thrilled to be working with Antero Group, yes. And we are thrilled to be working with the village and the citizens here to be improving the entire community.
And I know we've been talking a lot about the future already, but we do want to take a quick minute to look back at the past and some of the recent accomplishments of the village over the last year. As was already mentioned, there was the tree trimming program that cut down over 125 dead trees, which is continuing, so it should be becoming a regular cycle of maintenance, something that's ongoing to kind of keep things in a state of good repair moving forward. The Pine Lake Park improvements were also mentioned through Will County ARPA funding. There was one of the 2 docks replaced at Pine Lake Park that's now ADA compliant. We are working on some grant applications to, as the village manager mentioned, to replace the second dock, some of the restroom facilities, concessions, and some other improvements related to Pine Lake.
And I will take Stega Road. This was a project that, looking at an existing stretch of the Stega Road itself, but also looking at the corridor, extending it, in fact, looking at extending it all the way to Crawford. In doing so, this was mainly working with with Cook County, but different agencies, to determine what are the needs in the area. The feasibility study was wrapped up last fall, and we are pleased about that, but that was only the very beginning stages. The next items coming along are then phase 1 and phase 2, engineering itself, and that gets into the actual design parts of it. One of the things just to mention about this is we are, as I said, trying to extend it. We were hoping to take it over the CN Metro tracks, but unfortunately there are some issues there, and it makes more sense just to take it all the way to Governors. So having the road extend even further. This opens up greater economic development in the area too. So these are great things. Oh, and another one, this was completed. This was mainly an IDOT project because this is a state route, but it was working with the village, coordinating with the mayor. In this project, they were putting in a signalized intersection at the current terminus of Stega Road. You may also notice that they added signals and so on for the other side. Well, again, this brings in to the point that that everybody is on board with this extension of taking it even further to Governors itself. And now it's already set up for that. Abbott Lane resurfacing. This is a very first setup for this. Now, we have the before and the after itself. The after is still has got a little bit of that coating on, but when it was done, it made a significant difference to the surface of the road area there. This is only the beginning of it. Later on, there will be a full reconstruction. That will be taking the road all the way down to its base, replacing the base, and that would then also include putting in new drainage structures. This would be the storm pipes and so on. And this makes a significant improvement to the area. This also flows into the Amherst Lane portion too, because these are really sister projects. They are coordinated together. And so the similar item happened there of the the temporary resurfacing with the thought of then later on doing a full reconstruction of the road and improving the storm system there that collects the runoff.
And this effort was mentioned previously, but the village did complete the EV readiness program that was developed by the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. This program's now become a national model for EV readiness, which has been exciting for the village to be a part of. There were a course of over 300 actions related to policy, trainings, other improvements, inventories of vehicles and things that the village placed first in out of all of the bronze communities that were awarded. Definitely. And this not only brings more access and more equitable access to EV infrastructure, but also opportunities, too fast. Also opportunities for job training and higher paying jobs locally. So definitely an exciting accomplishment. The Metro Station TOD plan was also completed last year. This is a larger plan for the future of development surrounding the Metro Station area, so not just looking at improving the station itself, but also bringing in residential and commercial development around the station as well, trying to create more of a cohesive hub that also kind of connects to GSU and some of the other amenities throughout the village. And it's a lot greener now, but the White House on University Parkway was also demolished this year with Will County ARPA funds, so this has opened up another site for the economic development trend to continue. Another quick one right out front here. You can check it out on your way out today. But the town center sidewalks, there were over 50 panels replaced this year, building off last year where a few more panels were replaced. This will hopefully become a continuing cycle of regular maintenance as well. Do you want to mention this one at all? Sure.
So with the salt shed, this was something that actually happened, finalized recently. This happened in January, February, March, really. Initially, there was a salt shed, not in the best condition, so the salt was exposed to the elements. And as we know, water and salt do not mix. Thus, we ended up working with the village to then have a salt shed replacement. This is a full structure safely protecting the salt supply so that we have it and it's ready for treating the streets as needed.
And Public Works helped out with a lot of the setup and management of this project too, so definitely a big shout out to Public Works on this one. And skipping ahead, the golf course deck was replaced. That was finished up about a month or a few weeks ago, so that was another exciting project, a big safety improvement for the golf course. And I was hoping to have a more exciting picture, but this is some architectural renderings of the improvements that are happening at Regal Farm this year. The improvements for the DCEO-funded portion of the project are mostly focused on the administrative building, trying to get that back up and running as sort of a community space. Block clubs would be able to rent it out. There's also some other grounds-related improvements through an OSLAD grant. That'll be landscaping, some trail improvements, resurfaced parking lot, some ADA improvements, and a new playground with that as well.
Will that be done this year?
Yes, December 2024 is what the project team committed to. And as has been discussed many times today, economic development is another focus that we're hoping to highlight today. The mayor's definitely been pushing a lot on economic development, and we'll see kind of some of the results of that as some of this has already been discussed. But We won't go through all of the economic development projects from the last year, but here's kind of some of the ongoing, recently completed, forthcoming projects, just more to demonstrate the quantity than anything. But through the dedicated efforts of the mayor and the board and staff, there has been over 3 times higher tax revenues in the last 5 years, which is worth some applause there, for sure. That's a big accomplishment. You're jumping to my next slide, or after this one. This was just a quick slide we put in to just kind of quickly highlight the visual difference after all of the development that's occurred over the last several years. Just looking at, we kind of highlighted here in some yellow, some of the new buildings, some of the forthcoming, and just really seeing the landscape transform has just been super exciting to watch. Do you want to start this one?
Sure.
Now the road.
All right. All right, the up-and-coming items, okay? So we have been working with the village in discussions on multiple items. We do know the roads need assistance here and so on. We have been, we brought up Abbott and Amherst. But there are many others. So I want to talk initially with the big ones. We have different roads in the area. We have the ones that are owned by the state, the county, and the village. So we have multiple agencies. And throughout the process, the higher agencies, while they may be looking over the projects, they are working with the village and communicating with the village and discussing, getting the input. So the village is always being asked and is coordinating on these projects. A couple of them to mention. You may be even noticing the I-57 resurfacing that is going on and so on. That is in progress now. Again, that is the state handling that. But I also want to bring up Western Avenue. That is something that will be coming along. They're going to be resurfacing Western Avenue. This is Willa County doing that in coming up. And so that will be occurring throughout the whole village area. Oh, okay. Well then, see, that I knew they were getting going. I just didn't realize they were getting it running. I know they have the kickoff meeting, so that's great. And there will be some ADA, some ramp changes too, which is great. So part of that is hopefully making it a little bit easier to access the pace route along there. A couple other things to mention there. Well, I'll jump into a big project just to get off the roads a moment. Metro Station, the Phase 1 engineering, that is in progress now. This, of course, is a significant project. The overall purpose of the station reconstruction is to evaluate the station, come up with the proper designs based on coordination with the multiple agencies that would be funding the project, and then taking it forward into the next phases of the engineering all the way through construction. So this is a multi-year process, and we are just in the very beginnings of it, but we see the vision. And that's the important thing, is to get the project moving, because this is a giant. And once we get the ball rolling, it keeps moving. So currently now on that is looking at what enhancements. When we say a reconstruction, we may be using some of the existing facility there, but what we want to do is reconstruct items to make it operate better. We know about the drainage problems down in the tunnel. We know about the stairs collapsing. We have been hounding and working with Metro, and they are working on having those stairs replaced and doing other improvements there. But do note, those are temporary, because again, our intent is to do a full reconstruction of these stations, the parking lot areas too. and we're really excited about that. Moving on to some other road items, keeping with the state. How many of you really like coming up to the four-way stop at University Parkway and Governors? Probably don't appreciate that. I have exciting news. If you haven't already heard, changes are coming. Again, this is something where working with the state, taking the lead on this, working with the village, getting the input, because you all, the residents, are the ones who are handling this on a regular basis. So they want the community information and so on. What's going to happen there is they're going to put in a traffic signal. They're going to add, yeah, this is a great thing. What they're doing is adding dedicated left turn lanes on all approaches. So they are widening the intersection and to allow them to put in the dedicated left turn lanes for all approaches. They're putting in dedicated right turn lanes on particular approaches where needed. And this is going to then also work to, the signal is going to be an intelligent signal that works with the train signal too. So that way it coordinates together. It will prevent particular movements when the gates are down, but it'll keep the flow going through the other lanes. Hopefully, again, we all know that you've probably been delayed there many times. This will be helping to allow the intersection to operate more efficiently and effectively. So that's a big project. Other things to mention on this is there's also a state project down at Governor's Highway and Drawley Road. They're actually going to be putting in a signal there too. That's going to be kind of a sister project to the other one. This one too is also to make it a safer crossing, a safer intersection point. Getting back to some other items here, University Parkway resurfacing. Now, as part of the intersection improvements here, they're going to be doing a full reconstruction of the road, and that is great. But I will mention this. A lot of these items take time. So I'm not going to say that the signal is going to happen this year or next year, and really not even the one after that. This is going to be, probably this signal is several years down the line. Now, how do we help the area now? We do have a resurfacing, because you've probably noticed that especially to the west of the intersection, University Parkway is not exactly the best surfaced road. We're looking to move as quick as possible to have a resurfacing of the road there to create a temporary improvement in the area. And then later on, when the intersection is reconstructed, they'll take it all the way down to the base and reconstruct things at that time. But at least it helps things now. Other things to mention here are the local roads. So let's talk about them. I've heard Blackhawk come up. We are looking to do a resurfacing project on Blackhawk. We want to move forward with that as soon as possible. That would be happening all the way from, we're looking at University Parkway, then all the way south to Olmsted. This would include resurfacing of the entire road, plus the intersections to the side streets, and also then making sure that we have the proper crosswalk markings and so on to make it safer for the school access for the kids and so on. And then from there, we are looking at and we are working with the manager and the mayor to look at what we can do with multiple streets in the area. You'll see a list here of Thornwood Mall Drive, Burnham Drive, Sandra Drive, Mackey Road, and I do want to mention again that this includes Abbott and Amherst also. There are other roads that we are looking at also, but these are, we're spacing out the projects throughout a multi-year plan. We would love to jump in and fix all the roads tomorrow. Unfortunately, you're looking at budgets and then also the timing behind it. So we're looking at spacing out these projects to see where we focus on this and then next and just keep it moving forward. Keep improving the area. In some of these roads, most of them are going to be reconstructions versus just resurfacing. I've heard mention about the curbs and so on. When we talk about a reconstruction, we're talking about redoing the curb and gutter, replacing that. We're talking about also replacing the storm structure underneath. These are important factors to then help the area. I think that kind of covers most of the engineering items and so on. Timelines, just again to note, these are things where we are looking at, this is a multi-year process. Again, it is based on the fact of looking at the funding sources, and Randall is very good at finding opportunities and so on. But we're looking at doing what we can with the budget we have, and that's why I'm saying we are working very closely with the manager and mayor and the trustees to be able to determine what are the proper procedures. We don't want to promise something that can't be done. We want a realistic design and plan.
Yes, and I know the mayor and board want to be as aggressive as possible with local road improvements, so it is depending on the funding, but we are pushing as much as we can to get as much done responsibly as we can and making sure that those improvements aren't too rushed so that they'll last for a long period of time. A couple of the other more planning-related improvements, as was mentioned, the Veterans Memorial Garden should be kicking off. I believe they are finishing up ordering some of their materials, but that's an exciting project to see moving forward. What else is there? The OSLAD scope of work we briefly mentioned, that's more of the grounds-related improvements at Regal Farm. We'll also have some lighting improvements further down the line, depending on the grant processing timeline. We're working through the University Park Special Financing Study. That's kind of the next step of the TOD project, looking more at, okay, we have this nice rendering and we have kind of this plan that we want to see, this vision for the TOD area, but how do we actually get there? What steps, what incentives should we offer to encourage that development? And then I think the last one is the annexation strategy. It's just an ongoing kind of strategy, looking at all the different development opportunities in all directions. Even within the village, there are some parcels that are unincorporated Will County, so looking at some of that, and then looking at opportunities around the South Suburban Airport as well. Thank you again.
Thank you, Randall. Thank you, our engineers. Right now, I'm gonna ask the trustees if they have any comments or things that they would like to express to our residents. Trustee, are you good there? Or you need a mic? You good?
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, I'm Trustee Gina Williams. This is my first year. We just celebrated May 17th, 1 year as a trustee. Many of you know me from years ago as an advocate, CCC, Plan Commission. I've always been diligent about this village and how to move it forward. I think that when Aqua took place, I took that bull by the horn. I knew we have to have water, and I was determined this would not be another Flint, Michigan. I attended every Aqua meeting, whether it was at the middle school, the high school, if it was at the churches, you name it, I was there advocating. And I had the awesome pleasure of going to Washington, D.C. to the headquarters of the Environment Protection Agency, having to go through security and sit at the table with some of the larger, big people that take care of water environment. And Jonathan, Aaron, the mayor, Trustee Karen Lewis, Village Manager Scott, we kicked major butt that day. We brought it home. We let them know our schools, our libraries, we have taped up water fountains. Our children can't even drink water during school time. Daycares. This is terrible. Our children are our future, and no village should suffer with bad water. This is terrible. So I've made it a point to continue to fight. We went yesterday, and we continue to advocate at the court in Will County, not my first rodeo. We went there, and Bert Odelston, I may say, he knocked it out the park. He stood with that judge, and he laid the law down. And I can't be thankful enough for him and again the others that showed up. We are going to have a major aqua meeting, which I want to encourage all the residents to come out, because they're going to lay down everything from A to Z, what you need to do to get your pipes fixed, what we're going to do presently and future, the ad campaign to let people know University Park will have fresh, clean water. You can bring your jobs back here. You can move into a clean community that has working water. So the fight has only began with that. And I want to say I'm also looking to bring back senior programs, chair exercises, line dancing. I also want to work on a citywide trunk party for our young people that are going off to college. Again, they are our future. So let's give them that head start. Let's make sure they have their essentials, the ramen noodles, the microwave popcorn, the blankets, the movies, whatever they need. Let's do this. Let's go, UP.
Well spoken, Trustee. Trustee Thompson.
Hi, residents, everybody, board, mayor. I'm so glad to see so many people out today. It shows me that we care about where we live, and I encourage you, once again, I'll say it every time, please sign up for committees. The board is committed to getting the committees restarted. The Veterans Committee is off to a really good start. We have a committed, dedicated chairman, and he is doing a really good job. And we have a lot of good plans for bringing the veterans and bridging them with the community. So thank you all. Please pay attention to everything that's going on. Pay attention.
Trustee Brooks.
Can you hear me? Oh, I get the mic that says the man. That's a pleasure. Welcome, everyone. This is off the cuff. I was not expecting to say anything today. First of all, let me just start off out there. I had been ill, was hospitalized on February 29th, right after the board meeting. Complications was more due to medication. It did change my life. It changed my family life. I have a very, very strong outlook on people who have had strokes. So I can tell you also the wires in your brain. They gave a little card that says, be fast. And I'm noticing every resident here, I did not realize it's a lot of residents here in town that are okay, you hear me? Whoa, that's better. I already talk loud. Okay, just to say that, you know, I have a more respect for when it comes to those who had strokes. What I'm noticing is that since then, since me becoming ill, so many residents have been sick, including along the line of a stroke. What I'm amazed at, and when I did my testimony at church last Sunday, it's just amazing. We didn't tell anybody, but if you were close to the family, you either called my wife or you came to the house, because I think I spoke about it at the last board meeting. I literally had to push my mouth in to try to talk. The reason why you see me wearing sunglasses right now, these are prescription. My eyes are not dilating properly, as well as I can't hear correctly out of this left ear. So that goes to show you the damage that this go. I want to go further to say that when it comes down to the board, I would like to say that we are doing good things for those residents who see me as the voice of reason, sometimes maybe the voice of dissent, but sometimes you need that in a democracy. President Biden just got through saying yesterday that you have to stand up, tell the truth, and do what's right. And I just think it's important for us right now as a country that we follow these things and do the right thing and move our country forward, because indeed democracy is on the line and we all need to get out and vote. As far as the projects that you see, let me say this, is that even when I have a disagreement, even if it was a certain project, if I know it's a project that's going to do great for the village, in which I'm going to say about 90% of it is great. You need new roads. You need buildings that's coming up, this new commercial development that they're trying to bring in. I'm not going to speak more about it. They know more when they bring about it to the board. We do need a Wendy's. We do need all these things to begin to develop in the village. I told you a long time ago, it would look bad if you had a board that just say yes, 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 yes all the time. That's just the truth. You got to have somebody that's going to say no, but. And that has moved this village forward. And this would be year number 7 for me. Am I burnt out? Yeah. But one thing I have to say, the reward I have of it is when we see these things that are indeed built. However, I am going to make a correction, because I said it last board meeting, and I just said it to the mayor today. Trustee Brooks was there when the water crisis started. Trustee Brooks was the one that was on the phone and established the delivery of your water and the times that continue today. So I don't want to be erased as being a trustee that also participated. When Trustee Williams got up here, I did feel Trustee Williams should be involved. I did make mention, and the mayor did put it where Trustee Williams was working with Trustee Lewis, who took after me taking up the role. So it doesn't bother me. I just don't want to be erased, because one thing I did notice when I was sick, the village moved forward without me. And when I'm not here, it's going to continue to move forward without me. But while I'm here, I'm going to continue to serve you, and I appreciate the time that I had to speak today and have you here to listen and see the great things that we're trying to do here at the town hall meeting. Thank you much, and God bless you. Peace be with you.
Thank you, Trustee Brooks. Madam Clerk.
Hello, everybody. Glad to see all of you out today. This takes me back to the very first town hall meeting this village had when it was Park Forest South under the leadership of Charles Chuck Collins. It was held at what is now the Magnet School on Black Hawk. But believe it or not, one of the topics then that is still a big topic now and concern was water. Different company owned it, but that's when you could barely wash your clothes because they would get yellow and stained. So we've had these water issues, but I think it's time, and I see it happening, that we as a municipality have decided to stand up, speak up, and not be bullied by the billion-dollar company in control of Aqua, that this administration is looking at alternatives to it. But residents, be aware, this won't be cheap. It will be an inconvenience, but let's just work with the community, stand together, and let's keep the fight going. On another topic, I'm Dorothy D. Jones. I am your village clerk. And I just love this community. There are a couple of things that I will be working diligently for the next 6 months, that we can have our codified ordinances updated. So I am putting the manager and this board on notice.
Come on with it, man.
I will be. I will be requesting funding in this upcoming budget, that the update of the codifications will be done, that I have been asking for, and I will be asking for the funding to update our storage and retrieval documents, where only the mandatory files, 1 copy each, must be maintained in paper. So that's what I'll be looking for, and I promise you, with the funding, within 4 months, our codified ordinances will be up to date. Thank you for coming. Thanks for allowing me to be your clerk.
I think it's still morning. Good morning, residents, board, mayor, and the actual department heads and consultants. My name is Trustee Donna Fulcher. This is my first year as a trustee. I wanted to just make sure I just say welcome. Thank you all for coming to the town hall meeting to get some updates from each one of the departments and also from the engineers. I just want to personally thank our department heads, each and every one of you, for the work that you do and what you have done and what you're planning on doing. And also for our engineers and for the consultants for the work that they're doing. So, you know, sometimes of course there's more things that we would like to be done and at a faster pace, but I do have to acknowledge the work that has already been done and look forward to the work that's going to be done in the future. I'd like to say to the residents, if you have any questions for me, I'm always available. You can reach me at 708-650-0731. If you have any questions or comments or anything that occurred or talked about at this meeting or any of the other meetings, feel free to give me a call. Thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon, residents. My name is Trustee Lewis, Karen Lewis. And let me break down something to Trustee Brooks. In this race, it's a team, and you pass the baton on to us as a team for the water crisis. And I want to say I took the baton and ran with it, as I well as passed it on to Gina Williams. And we are tag teaming as we're going and fighting with Aqua as we went for the settlement yesterday. We didn't get everything that we wanted, but we got some things that were great for us. As Jonathan Flowers, thank you to the scientist who's sitting in that audience for his expertise of telling the judge and in those meetings of what we needed in our community. It is imperative that our residents sign up for that TAP program, because that is testing that they will be doing. I think it's quarterly. Please sign up. It's imperative, because if there is something wrong, Aqua is going to fix it. I want to say, we went to Washington. As I told Gina, we went to the party, as everyone says. But it wasn't a party. It was a party meeting with the top brass to make sure University Park has clean water. The fight is still going. Trustee Brooks, you passed it on. We're running. We ain't forgot about you. I want you to know that you passed the baton. It's like a relay race. We're still in the race, and that's us, the residents. We need to show up and show out, because Aqua, we're having a meeting further down the line, June 25th. Please come out, because all the information will be given as what went on. Bert Oderson, he went in there full force. He had a short amount of time, and he did the job. That's all I have to say with that. Please, residents, once again, sign up for the TAP program. Also, the food pantry that Ms. Scott is starting, it's a food pantry for everyone. Please come out and support all of that. Also, there are jobs that are coming. Send the young people to the Village Hall to sign up for the jobs. Please send up for the jobs. There are programs. The mayor has 20 positions. Is it 20, Mayor?
Yes. Between the ages of 16 and 21.
Between the ages of 16 and 21. We're saying we don't do stuff for the youth, but please send the youth up to Village Hall to sign up for these jobs. Thank you, and have a nice rest of your day.
Hello, everyone. I am Trustee Janelle McFadden. I have been a resident of University Park. In August of 2024, it will be 24 years. I want to thank you all for coming and supporting us, and thank all the boards for all that they do, and just ask that you keep us in your prayers and keep supporting us to keep doing what we're doing. I've been a trustee now for 3 years, and I have seen change come. So let's continue the changes, and let's keep supporting each other, all of the new trustees with the rest of us. We're working well together. We don't agree on everything, but we get it done. So thank you all, and please continue to support us. Thanks.
All right. All right, so that wraps up everything from all of the officials, the trustees, and everybody, to letting our residents know that we are really moving forward. It's not just a conversation. It's evident. You can look around and see where there was once nothing, that there is something now. So the community is very fruitful, and we're moving forward. And now we'll go right into our Q&A session, and we'll get you guys out of here, and prayerfully you'll enjoy your weekend. Hey, Reverend Williams, good to see you back there. All right. We needed you here a little early for that prayer, but I had to stand in, Doc. All right, so, who's next? Jeff, you want to do? Jeff? All right, here we go. Y'all do that thing together, Jeff.
How you guys doing? Come on, give me some energy, give me some energy. So Q&A. Who has the first question? Want to come on up? Yes, Q&A.
You said we're going to send you to the left.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, elected officials. Let me say at the outset that it's good to hear.
She wants you to go to the video because she's video, so that way they can see you on TV. Okay. No, keep it right here. Keep it right here. Right here, bro.
I'm talking to y'all. I'm not talking to you.
Just turn sideways so they can.
Hi. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, elected officials, all present, village residents, Peter, Paul, and all y'all. Amen. let me say at the outset how good it is to hear the progress being made in University Park. With infrastructure, with economic development, and particularly with the water crisis. I'm excited to see some change come from this, since this has been going on since the announcement was made on June 14th, 2019, which amounts to 1,821 days as of today. So in June and July of 2019, after having been made aware of the do not consume order, a series of town hall meetings between First Baptist Church and the community came up with 4 demands. So as much as y'all talking about, everybody went back, 4 demands started with community at First Baptist Church when we had that town hall meeting. Many of you were there. And out of those 4 demands, well, before those 4 demands came, there was a number of things that happened that I thought was beautiful, right? There were poster boards put up on either side of the sanctuary, and people took their names and placed them on where they wanted to serve. Some people wanted to deliver water. We began collecting water. First Baptist was a warehouse to come and get water. Some people did research. Other folks did taking water to other folks, right? We did all of that, as well as some policy advocates that we had there. We did all of that together, right? And in that, one of the things that came up was those 4 demands that were addressed to Aqua, and repeatedly over the past almost 5 years has been reminded to federal and state elected and appointed officials. Here's part of what that letter said. It said, "We are writing you as elected officials and Aqua, asking you to actively engage and intervene to ensure that the people of University Park," here are the demands, "receive clean bottled water delivered to homes. 2, independent testing of homes of lead. Number 3, independent testing and solutions for children and vulnerable populations exposed to the lead due to their ingestion. And number 4, long-term infrastructural development to ensure that lead no longer comes into the homes of the beautiful people of University Park." And while it seems through the settlement that is already, I guess it's already been signed, the settlement has been signed? Hasn't been signed yet? With that, let me ask these questions to see if we can advocate for a bit more. So while it seems like a few of these have been at least addressed, I'm glad it's not signed yet. I want to know I have a couple of questions. Number 1, is there anything in the settlement that provides testing, care, and assistance for persons who may test for lead for those exposed during that period? As you know, with lead testing, you may not see it right up, particularly with kids, right? 6 to 10, and not only kids, but vulnerable populations who we found during those town hall meetings. There were people, particularly elderly folks. I remember one woman who lived in Thornwood House who said that when she went to the doctor, her lead levels were elevated, right? So is there anything in the settlement that provides for testing, care, and assistance for persons who may be exposed to lead during that period? Secondly, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, if I heard you correctly, there's $900,000 divided by approximately 1,600 homes. Is that correct? That equates to $562 per home. But the max to repair the solder is $3,500 per person. Did I hear that right? So if the max to repair the solder is $3,500, if we do the math, then only 257, if they max out that 3,500 of the 1,600 homes, would be fully cared for with the lead solder, which then leaves 1,343 homes still with the cost of something that they didn't cause. So my question is, while I've heard Mr. Flowers' plans in terms of applying for grants, is there a further plan to assist those other 1,343 homes for something that they didn't cause? Number 3, and this is my last question, what is we doing to get rid of Aqua, and what are we doing to part ways with Aqua? So those are the 3 questions. 1, is there care and assistance for persons who may test for lead during the exposed periods? Number 2, what is the plan if the 900,000 runs out and there are still 1,343 homes having to pay for something? Because again, 900,000 divided by 1,600 is $562. All right. And then the last question is, what is University Park doing to part ways with Aqua? And I'll say that on record.
So Pastor? No. Go ahead.
So just to clarify some things, there were 1,595, approximately 1,600 homes. Every home is not going to be remediated. Those homes, if you listen, were going to be tested, and out of those homes, the homes that they found to be above the lead levels of, I believe it's 15 parts per billion, will be remediated. Jonathan Flowers and we have been discussing going after grants and procuring funding for the remaining, if there's additional homes that we're able to remediate. So it's not going to be for every single home, it's homes that test for that. Out of that, we are going to continue to apply for grant funding to be able to remediate those remaining homes. The other thing is, I don't know if the mayor wants to speak to this, but we have started a plan of action. You can't move away from Aqua within a year, 2 years, or 3 years. It's really going to take more like a 10-year plan and looking at other communities and how they were able to successfully move away. It's not common because as the attorney, who the attorney was for, Jonathan, who was the attorney for that made the comment from the opposing counsel that it was unprecedented, was the word that he used, and how aggressive he found us to be in reaching this settlement. And he said that he respected us because he couldn't believe how aggressive we were going after them. But it is going to take a lot of money. Other towns have been able to successfully move away, but it also depends on the amount of piping they have, the size of their community, the infrastructure, but it could be anywhere from $150 million to $200 million, we were told. But there are ways to get to that point. So we do have an end game that's on a more long-term solution. The short-term solution is many components of what's happening. The Zimmerman case, which is going to provide settlement for people for damages for what this community went through. We're also looking at the village and also going after them for damages that we suffered as it relates to businesses not wanting to come here, residents that did not want to come here, residents that have been consistently calling us about the level of the water, because the situation is, although the water is fixed per standards, per EPA standards, there is obviously a distrust with the community, which is warranted. So that comes into play with the aggressive ad campaign, meaning which they were reluctant in agreeing to. They did not want to agree to an ad campaign because in essence that's them admitting that they messed up the water. They were told they had to pay for billboards. They did not want to do that. Am I correct, Mayor? That was one of the factors that was stopping this consent. We were actually looking at getting absolutely nothing. And I believe that a big part of why we were able to still have a seat at the table was because of Judge Anderson. Bert, also that young man that's standing behind you that's been very aggressive, he was deposed for hours about the state of our water. We applied for a Will County grant. The state, Kwame's office went around and actually reached out to Will County and challenged the grant that I submitted. So we've been in a long-term fight, but the long-term solution is to get away from them, get our own infrastructure, and that could look like some type of revolving loans. There's a lot of money out there. There's money that Aqua, we found out, is possibly able to apply for. We can't apply for it, but they have to apply for it. The short term is this one component with the compliance. That was only on the compliance side. That has nothing to do with the Zimmerman case. That has nothing to do with the other aspects that we're still going to move forward with. So hopefully I could provide some clarity with that. But if someone else wants to chime in, they can.
It's only 200,000 from the state. So what happens if the grant does, 200,000 on top of the 9, right? But what happens if the grant does not come through? Have there been policies made for that? And I wanted to go back to the first question. Is there anything in the settlement can it be put in the settlement or pushed, since it's not signed yet, for persons who may come up years later and still be affected by that? We've seen it in Flint. We've seen it in another number of other places. I'm concerned about folks who were exposed and are now having damages realized as they grow and mature.
So that component does not deal with what you're asking. That is for the damages portion, which is the monetary. This deals with specifically the compliance. This case with Kwame had to do with compliance issues, and people are kind of fusing the two together, which I understand, but that's what that. They said they were not putting anything on the table for admitting that somebody may have issues, learning disabilities, or things of that nature. They said no.
And let me say this last thing. Aqua is a multi-billion-dollar company. 900,000 is a Band-Aid. And so if we can push even more, if we can raise hell even more, 900,000 is really a drop in the bucket for all of the damage that this village has taken. So I'll put that out there like that.
We got,
I just want to remind everyone, if you haven't signed up with the Zimmerman case, if I'm not mistaken, I think his cutoff is around the 21st of June. So if you haven't signed up, contact the Zimmerman Law Firm. I put it on Nextdoor. I put it on Facebook. I'll continue to give you that information. But if you want to get any type of reimbursement or whatever they're trying to do, monetary, financially, you need to contact them. Also, I don't know if you all noticed that after midnight, we're starting to get that stench again. That odor is back out here. They call themselves slick because they're doing it after midnight, but it is infiltrating our homes with that terrible smell. We don't know the effects that it's having on us, so we mentioned that too. So the fight, like I said, is not over. This is just hurdle one. We still got a ways to go. We still got an attorney in place. We still got an engineer, and you still got a whole Aqua team that's not gonna back down to Aqua. And Mr. Carter was there yesterday, and I was so insulted because he can come there, but he has yet to come to University Park and address these issues. But when Hawthorne Woods had an issue, he was there front and center. They just had a little episode over a weekend. We've been having it for 5 years come June of this year. So we want to see his face in the place because Craig Blanchard was nice enough to come here. Melissa Calhoun and others, they didn't back away. They did what they could. But now we got a new president, sheriff in town. We want him to come here so he can face us face front. Thank you.
Good afternoon, board residents. My name is Cynthia Hudson. Is it on? My name is Cynthia Hudson. I've been a longtime resident for 30 plus years, and this water situation is a mess. Like Pastor was saying, Reverend Williams was saying, that $900,000 is a joke. They're laughing at us. They're spitting on us, spitting in our face with that $900,000 because they got gazillions of dollars. So when this first started happening, the first thing out of my mouth was, I told Craig Blanchard, I told anybody who would listen, the only thing that's going to satisfy me with this water situation is if they change the pipes that's leading into my home and change the pipes that's in my home. For free, at their expense. They caused the problem. They knew ahead of time that the problem could happen. They went ahead and did it anyway. They didn't care about our lives, our livelihood, our health, or anything else. So why should we care about their dollars? Only thing they're concerned about is raising our water bills. How dare they try to raise our water bills when we're in this crisis that they caused? Another thing is when this first started, yes, they used to deliver us the smaller water bottles, the 16.9 or whatever it is, ounces of water bottles by the cases, right? So what are they doing now? They're finding ways to get rid of people getting the water. We have to go pick it up ourselves. Some residents don't have transportation to go pick it up themselves. Now they giving us, then they went from the smaller bottles to the gallon jugs with handles. Now they're at the gallon jugs without handles. I'm a senior citizen. My mom is a senior citizen. There are senior citizens, people with disabilities, who cannot handle these gallon jugs of water. So that's Aqua's way of not giving us water. I shouldn't have to go out and buy the water that I need. Nobody else should either. They caused this problem. We need to get back on them and make them deliver the water that we can handle. So when we have to go to their to Aqua to pick up our water, now they're costing us time and gas. They need to be paying people to deliver the water like they did when it first happened. So if we need to go by bus loads to Springfield or wherever we need to do, let's get it together. I mean, we need to put this back in the news and keep it in the news. Put some heat back on Aqua. But they deliver the gallon jugs with no handles. I can't handle that. So if they're gonna deliver me the smaller bottles, that would be fine. But I can't do anything with the gallon jugs with no handles. And I applaud you on fixing the Veterans Memorial area. And I was just talking to the young lady who's part of the project. And I was asking her if they could repaint the benches that my son, Levante Hudson, made. So, because I was going to try to get out there and do it myself, because I'm like, they need to be updated. So my son, he's an Eagle Scout in 2015, and he made those two benches as well as that third bench on Moni Stunkel Road with the black eagle on them. That was his Eagle projects, and they're still standing. So, like this village, University Park, I've been saying it for years, decades. UP stands for what? It spells what?
United People.
Amen. And UP spells what? The word up. We're moving forward. We're going up. We need to be taking this village up to higher levels. Don't bring us down. Let's come together as a people and move forward and be up.
Well, Ms. Hudson, I'll just make just a quick response. We'll knock on the door again. We don't have anything to lose and everything to gain by going back and addressing some of these issues that you guys brought up, because we all know that I was a strong advocate. We were all strong advocates ensuring that what does happen in case someone has effects of it 10 years down the line. You know, but there's another situation too. We are very fortunate in some way. We know what their purse strings look like, but at the end of the day, we could have walked away with exactly zero. So we're working on stuff, and we're going to bring that new water source in, so understand it. And one of the main things that they did ask me about this scenario when it happened, whose idea was it to bring in water from the dirty Kankakee River from the start? We're not looking back. We're going to bring the work on Lake Michigan water. All right. All right.
Hello, residents. Hello, board. This is Phyllis Saunders. I've been here for 20 years. I just want you all to be cognizant of Michigan Water too, because it's going to be taxed through each community, and there are problems in places like Dixmoor, Harvey. You don't know, there's old infrastructure there too. So my thing is to make Aqua do full restitution. They need to, if they got to dig those wells again, or whatever they have to do to keep it out of the river that changes every time that it rains, okay, and they have to reconstitute their chemicals all the time, then they need to go back to the well water and make it taste correct.
okay? They need to make it tasteful, like the attempt was to change it to river water, okay? So whatever they need to do, be careful of going to other places looking for what we have right here. Dig our own wells is my thing. And go ahead and make Aqua do full restitution. My back hurts. I can't stand here and talk, so you answer me from your place. You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Vivian Covington. Thank you for this meeting today, everyone. The water issue, it's been a problem since this village, thank you all for coming today. This water issue has been a problem since this village existed, and I'm glad that it's being addressed and addressed and addressed. I've been doing some research on my own on the side personally, because the people, if you look how many people have gotten ill, how many people have gotten cancer in this village, each block, on my block alone is 5 people. I can tell you how many people have died in this village, and nobody's done the research on that. So I'm just telling you, I appreciate that. And I want to know, we spent how much money for this attorney for the water? Who was that lady? Miss, whatever name, Long? Did we get a report from her on what her status, what's her presentation? That was handling the water, the attorney. Did we have Fame, whatever her name was? So did she give us a report? Trustees, be cognizant of what you need to be responsible for. If you're paying out money, you need to get a report. She wasn't at the court. We spent $100-some thousand for this woman, and you guys are doing the work. I don't know what happened with that, whatever. Thank you for mentioning about the committees, which I have been not denied. I've applied for 3 committees so far, and I was on committees before I even ran for office in this village. I love where I live. Right now, I wish I could pick my house up and move because I'm not being accepted to work. If you get the committees there, these people in this village are very intelligent. We had committees and they worked a lot, which you would not have to pay for money for people. We had people with expertise in law, accounting, economics, all of that. So if you have the committees, that way you're transparent and the people can be involved and they'll know what's going on. These meetings are great, but one-on-one, they should know that. And I don't know, I've asked about our budget. My husband asked to be on that committee. He balances a $20 million budget every day for the PA, but he's not been on the committee, not come to a committee meeting. He did come up here and ask about it, and they said they're going to have a meeting about it. The budget's supposed to be signed by the end of this month. So they said they're going to be talking about the budget. Please look at that, trustees. And the high bills that this water company, I don't know how they could justify the bills, and the water is so bad. How could they dare say that the bills are going up when the water is not being taken care of? So again, I really wish, I know Trustee Fulcher has talked about the committees. I just signed for another committee. It's never been presented to the board. I mean, you guys did vote on it, but it's never come to a board for me to be on them. And I think that's bad when people in the village has expertise and they want to help in their village and donate to their village, and they're not given an opportunity to do it. What's that about? Why are you hiding it? Let us be a participant. There's other people in this audience that's been asked to be on the committee. Nothing. And it's like nothing. What is that about? We want to help you. We saw the economic development. We know about it. It's been going on for years. The train station, we had $5 million for that too, to get the train station done. And I know about the transportation committee because I was on that board. So where are we with the committees? Why can't the people work in their village? Why can't we participate? But I hope that you address that and make that happen. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Next question.
Anybody, you want to work on that board?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Pandora. You gonna hold that for me?
I will if you want me to.
Yeah.
You want me to?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Pandora Bryan. I'm a resident of University Park. I just have some things I want to bring to your attention. First, I want to piggyback on the lady that was talking about the water being delivered. Me too, you know, I have a problem, arthritis with my hands, and carrying that water is real difficult. with or without the handles. And several times I've tried to have it delivered, and I've been getting a runaround. Sometimes it's not consistent. Okay, and I'm very disappointed because I have to go over there and get that water, and sometimes I have to leave it in my car 2 or 3 days if I can get, until I'm able to get somebody to help me carry it up. So the bottles is more better also because that gallon is real heavy. The other thing is, I'm concerned, I just have a question about, well, just want to mention, the man back there mentioned about the property and stuff that they were fixing. I live in Sandra Oaks condos, and up and down Sandra Drive, it looked like it's beginning to be a sinkhole there where that bus comes down, and it's like, it's been going on for quite some time now, and it looks like any day now that hole is going to sink, you know? Beg your pardon? You working on that? Okay, good, because I don't want my car to fall in the hole. And the other thing is, I want to just give a suggestion. When someone was speaking about the TAP program, the different food pantry program, a lot of things that be going on. I think if you all can get out literature within the community, you know, I know you have the sign up there and, you know, the websites and things of that nature, but I think sometimes if you just get some things out on the cars or throughout our community, I think more people will be coming and participating, you know, because a lot of people, when I talk to them, they don't even be knowing about stuff. And I didn't even really know about this until I went over to get my sticker for my car, and there was literature out on the table. Now, when I'm over there, I pick up the literature. It's more literature on the table than it is out in the streets. You know, I think it just should be just a suggestion, more ways to put information out there, so we all can, more people can be a part of what's going on. And I think my last thing is Pine Lake, the lady said that they fixed the bridge over there. Yeah. When is it going to be some fish over there? I want to go fishing.
It's not last August, 620 some odd catfish, 200 some odd bluegills. So we just had to stop last July or August. 800.
So do you just stock it like once a year or something like that?
Well, we go on the IP and our natural resources.
Okay. Okay, then. I'm going to go over there and check. I'll get back with you on that, though. All right. Thanks you.
Okay, it is now 12:48, so we got time for two more. So this young lady and that young lady. Okay?
Good morning, board, trustees. I remember in 2019 when the mayor almost passed out when he got the call. He's done a remarkable job with getting Aqua together, making sure that they're going to be held accountable for what has been done to this community. He's been extremely diligent with the board to make sure Aqua would pay. I also wanted to just thank the board for everything that they're doing, everything that we see, the changes in the community. Mr. Vargas is coming around the corner. It's really getting clean. We want to thank Trustee Theo Brooks for coming back strong. He was the one that did not play with Aqua in the beginning. He was not nice. So I thank him for passing the baton to our fire tag team, Gina Williams and Trustee Karen Lewis, for doing everything that they needed to do to make sure that Aqua is, we're not playing Aqua. We're not not playing. And the president, I don't know where you are. I met you at the IML. You need to come here to University Park and show your face to these residents, respect our board and our mayor and our community. It's a demand, it's not a request. Also, I just want to take time to thank you guys for everything that you're doing, and make sure that our children are safe this summer. I saw them running around with water guns and trying to shoot the police, and they run it. It's a progress. It's a work in progress. But mainly, I just want to say that the community is moving forward in a positive way. Ms. Jewell, thank you for addressing issues, and I have to say, Trustee Jewell, thank you for addressing issues with our seniors. Mrs. Donna, Trustee Donna, thank you for making sure that everything is going well with some of our youth. So we're just excited that the village is coming together and keep it going. And lastly, our village manager. I listened to the financial report. She's doing a good job, because I remember when it was in the negative. Now we're in the positive. So what more can we say? What more can we say? We are on the right track, and she's not gonna let us overspend. I know that. So we thank you for that, and I thank you, and you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Ms. Jenkins, former trustee Ms. Jenkins, I just want to let you know that I did stop the president of Aqua, didn't I, Gina? And I told him your presence is needed in University Park and not just here in the courtroom. So I did say that personally to him.
Well, we're going to do a letter writing campaign. And also I wanted to say, our Pastor Williams, our social justice preacher here in this village, he needs to be acknowledged. He is quick on his feet. He does what needs to be done to hold Aqua accountable for what they've done to us. And the next time you all meet with Aqua Water Company, he needs to be there. He needs to stand with this village on this social justice issue, because if this was Tinley Park, or if it was Orland, we will not be in this position. The water would have been fixed, we would have been shut up, and it would have been swept under the rug. So he is the one to go to, and we expect him to be there the next time you meet with Aqua. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Deborah J. Stroud. I'm just a 51-year resident, that's all. But I just want to pass on a consideration regarding Aqua. Are you going to hold that?
I will.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to pass on.
Please quiet down. Please.
I'd just like to make a suggestion to pass on, because listening to everyone speaking about Aqua, I totally agree. But by the same token, here's a suggestion. I was one of those that rallied to Kankakee with my pastor from First Baptist, and we were out there in 95-degree weather, all the way out there in Kankakee to the Aqua Company. We got no resolve. I was one of those when I got back home. I had the pleasure of being on Channel 7 with Evelyn Holmes at my house. I know Clerk Jones was one of those at, I don't recall the channel station, but still, I say that to say that we have been going through this fight since 2019. And just as former trustee mentioned, if it were Tinley, if it were Orland, well, I'm looking at high iron levels with yellow, orange, foul-tasting water for residents, for north suburban residents. How about perhaps forming with the two communities up north a little bit more support? We speak about being a South suburban community, predominantly black. How about us trying to partner with North suburban communities, primarily white? See if the fight would be greater. Because I've heard board members say, if that was up north, well, we've got a couple of communities up north. Partner with them. before we signed on the dotted line, because I know families in this community, the mom, the dad, the wife, all had cancer during this time that it surfaced in 19. So it was already in place before then. And one of the daughters had a child. What happens to those people 10, 20 years from now? When we see somebody with a third eye up here or wherever, will we think that maybe that might have been the lead in the water? Thank you for hearing what I have to say, and please consider, just as us in Will County, we've got McHenry County, they're experiencing, partner, research, get in touch, link, do whatever word you want to use, but consider doing that. Thank you so much. Everyone continue having a great day, and again, I'm the first to say Happy Father's Day to everybody. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more, and then after that, we're going to close it out with prayer from the pastor. Pastor, could you come close us out with prayer after this last one, please?
Both of us gonna be here talking. I already told people back there, as soon as I sit up here, the mayor was gonna stop me from talking.
One question for Mayor.
Mrs. Taylor first, and we'll take 1 minute question for her. Thank you.
She's good.
Ready for me? Hi, my name is Deborah Taylor, and first, I would like to just go ahead and give accolades. I know everybody has concerns, and so do I, but compliments are just as good as concerns. So I'd like to give thank yous and accolades to everybody who is working towards moving this village forward. Thank you very much. Second of all, I did have about 7 things I wanted to address, but this is a Q&A, so quickly I'm just asking my question, but I hope to get the A part from you guys, okay? One thing that I'm just going to, can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Yes, ma'am. Okay. One thing that I wanted to just kind of like reiterate was the question, when we talk about working together, the question did come up about committees. And I just want to know for myself, because I did also apply for a committee. It was an educational committee with a background of over 40 years in education. Not pat myself on the back, but I'm also a teacher evaluator. I could just go on, but I won't. So I'm saying that I think that that particular committee and all the committees that we probably had before, which I don't know which all of them are, but are just as relevant. But I'm just here to say that I think that we really need to if we're not considering it, consider reinstating these committees, because they're important and we're stakeholders. And that's my time on that one, okay? So I don't know, but I'd like to have an answer for that. And then the other thing is that I had also mentioned to the mayor that, it would really be nice if when we do a finance report, that was a really good report, first of all. But just for learning purposes, most people learn better when they have visual presentations, and they also remember and retain information better if they have a visual presentation. So if when we do any type of finance report, especially an annual, if we could just have a PowerPoint, something visual that people can follow along with, I think the retention would be better, and there wouldn't be so many questions maybe in their minds as they go home trying to reiterate or rethink about what was said. Thank you. Hopefully I'll get an answer.
Don't give me that one question stuff. Hello, everybody. How you doing, Mayor? We talked yesterday, You know it was. I told you that when you and Linda was together. I'm Miss Millie. And the only reason why, at this point, that I'm up here is to acknowledge the good, hard-working people that I see. Number 1, Trustee Fulcher. 2, Trustee Theo. Number 3, Trustee Thompson. I see you all carrying this village, really honestly doing something.
There are some people here that insult me really bad. And yeah, I told the mayor, you're supposed to be professional. And you say, oh God, because you see me talking to the village manager. I keep calling you the village manager. There's something about that. I was talking to finance. You should have warned her about me in the beginning. That's what you should have did. Instead of sighing because you see me talking to her. Remember, your second day I came to see you. I like to get to know people. And I wanted to apologize to the residents for my behavior. My behavior is irate like this because, number one, I pay taxes. Number two, I care about this village. Number three, it irks me to no end when I hear continuous lies, mistruths. That bothers me. Because you all don't, I'm up and about and out and around, and I see things. I foyer, haven't done any recently, but I used to foyer. I used to get the information. I have so much literature, oh my goodness, about this village, the different mayors and things. So I bring you the truth. I'm Miss Millie. I'm blunt, but I'm honest. I like Robinson Engineer. I remember when. But so that's why, and the mayor knows this, that's why he doesn't want me to talk, because it would tell the truth or question some of the things that they say. So that's why I come up and talk. I gave you all a break for not being at the meetings. Wasn't that wonderful? You enjoy that? Right, Gina? So I just wanted to say that. This young man here, a wonderful, fine specimen of a man. I wish HR was still here, but since Ms. Scott is over HR, leave me alone, over HR, she needs to hire him some people. The only thing, and you know what? I wouldn't be as irate as I am if I felt like this was a clean, safe village. That's all that it takes for me. You can go on as many trips. You can go here, hook up with Hinyard, go on some trips, enjoy yourself. But just clean my village. That's all I want. The chief, so far, you all right. I'm noticing my guys are getting a little hefty. You know what I mean. They're putting on their weight. But I just had to. Okay, that's not insulting him. What is the truth? You remember what I said? I'm blunt, but honest.
Ma'am, please.
Okay, I'm gonna let it go. No, let me give it to you.
Come on, let's do it right.
But thank you all very, very much.
Thank you. And we also want to wish her son a happy birthday, correct?
Happy anniversary. So, Pastor Williams, come on up. I would just like to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy day. We have gone a little overboard than we anticipated, but I think it's really good. It is good to have healthy conversations and factual conversations on the direction of the village. So, with that closing, Pastor Williams has one more thing, and we'll close out with prayer.
Just before we still ourselves, Just before we go to our God in prayer, I do want to let you know next Saturday, week from today, from 11 to 1, First Baptist Church will be hosting a Juneteenth celebration for all family, food, fun, all that good stuff. So looking forward to having you there next Saturday from 11 to 1. June 15th, we know June 19th is Juneteenth, but we're having the celebration since y'all going to be at work during the week. Amen. Do me a favor, take a deep breath in. Let it go. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. One more time, deep breath in. Let it go. God who supplies breath and life, we thank you. God who supplies life and love, we thank you. To the God who has graced us to come together, be it virtually or in person, we now thank you. We pray now, God, as plans have been shared, as plans have been uttered, God, that you would breathe on the plans. And if the plans are not like you, that you would empower us to adjust the plans so that the plans would be in line with your vision and your eyesight for us. We pray now, God, for each elected official here, God, that you would imbue them with wisdom, with courage, with all that they need to be all that you've called and created them to be. God, we thank you for University Park, and we thank you for her residents, and we thank you now for the future that you have in mind for her. May everyone here, elected and non-elected, move toward the vision you would have for this place, a vision of safety, a vision where we can have clean water and food, a vision, oh God, where our children can play and grow and develop. A vision, oh God, where we can all live in liberation and freedom. God, thank you for the plans you have in store for us. Now, as we leave this place, but never your presence, help us to walk into that space, being empowered through policies, through practices, and personal relationships to make this the place that you would love. This is our prayer we offer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. And that concludes our town hall meeting. Thank you. You guys have a phenomenal weekend.